Hello and welcome back to another stream on the Haunted Hippie channel or on the Sledgehammer Horror channel. We are sharing tonight, so welcome. Tonight, as you can see, we have a lot to cover from 2025. It was, in my opinion, an excellent year for horror. And joining me today to discuss all of that and the horror news of the future, we have Ken Sledge from Sledgehammer Horror. Hello. And we also have Cody Leach. Woo!
Hello.
Hello. And hello to everybody in the chat.
Legend.
I know. I feel like the three of us too, we haven't collaborated in such a long time. So it's really nice to have you guys here. Thanks for being here tonight.
Thank you for the invite.
Yeah.
And as for the chat, hopefully you know when I have guests, I typically am spending a little more time chatting with them than with you guys, but rest assured we'll do our best to get to your comments today. So just kicking off, I just want to say hello to those who have made it. Lexius is here. It has been an interesting year for horror. A couple great good movies will stand the test of time, and Ken and Cody, great seeing you guys. I agree.
Thank you.
Sean is here. Welcome. Hello. Got some members in the chat as well. I know Sinners will probably get best costume design, score, and cinematography. Weapons will probably get best screenplay. We are going to probably share our Oscars predictions in a little bit today. So we're definitely going to get to that. Hello. Got some other members in the chats. Welcome. Hello. Appreciate it. Okay, maybe we can kick off with this because this just came out and I actually don't know your guys' thoughts on the movies yet. Which is better, Silent Night, Deadly Night, the original or the newest remake with Rowan Campbell?
For me, it's a landslide victory for the new one. I just covered all 7 of those movies within the last week, and like the original's got its appeal. You know, it's like a grindhousey type of movie that's meant for shock value. I'd never thought it was a very strong slasher, but once in a 3 or 4 years, I'll check it out, and it's fun for what it is. And I think the last remake, Silent Night, is decent as like a 2000s little slasher. All the sequels, wow, that's a rough franchise to get through. But yeah, this new one, to me, it's like what a remake should be. You take the spirit of the original, you take some iconic moments from it, and you go in wildly different directions. It's not perfect. You know, the third act could have been better, but for me, easily the new one.
I agree. Yeah. Ken, you go ahead.
Oh, no, I agree. I think that I love there's certain things. I'm not going to spoil anything. There's certain things that happen throughout the movie where at first I was like, is this the direction that we're going in? And then as it started to go, I was like, okay, you know, I'm kind of feeling this a little bit. I love the ending. I think some of the kills are phenomenal in this film. I really love Rowan Campbell. I really love Ruby Modine and their chemistry together. I thought that was, you know, it felt real for me to watch those two together. Mm-hmm. So, and like Cody said, I think that it wasn't perfect. I'm tired of seeing my boy Roman getting imprinted on, but you know, but Rowan, not Roman. I had so much fun with this movie, and it did enough to warrant its existence. You know, it wasn't one of those things where let's shot by shot this. You know, they did enough to warrant its existence and actually leave me wanting a sequel. I love the direction they could potentially go in this to get us to a new sequel.
I like how it teased you with being just kind of a 2025 rehash, where it's just like, it's the guys that did Terrifier. It's going to be a little gory, but you know what you're going to get. You get 40 minutes of the film, and you're like, yeah, this is what new shit. And so it kind of comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, I fully agree. I think, though, I'm pretty sure at least Cody and I disagree on the first sequel, because I have said that you can kind of skip the first movie of the franchise and just start with the second one because it's just a clip show of the first movie. And so, like, I felt like it kind of moved the pacing along a little bit better. And I was like, oh, it's like, you know, they cut out all the boring parts of the original movie. But I think I definitely prefer both the remakes, actually. The first remake, I think, was like 2012. And it's very sleazy, but it's really fun, good Christmas vibes. So, yeah.
I let everybody know last December, that I was going to do a ranking of those. And I watched the first one, which I've already seen 2 or 3 times, and then for the first time was going to dive into everything else. And I got all the way to the end of part 2, and I was like, no, I can't do anymore.
Oh no.
Here we got the remake, and I was like, oh, perfect time. Now I'm going to commit. I'm doing it, baby. And then I got to part 3, and I'm like, I'm fucking out. Can't do it. But everybody, I'm like, all right, man, I'll get through them.
You did
It's
it.
just one of those franchises where each movie, with the exception of 1 and 2, are just so different from the one that came before it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, it's Christmas, slap Silent Night, Deadly Night on it. You know, this guy's a toy and he's gonna bang his mom thing. Go ahead, but just put Silent Night, Deadly Night on it. We'll
Sure, what the hell?
Struggle snuggles are a little bit of a running theme in this franchise for a while.
Did you say struggle snuggles?
Yeah, I don't know. Aren't we supposed to like hide the bad words on YouTube or something like that?
I've just never heard struggle snuggles.
I haven't either. I've never heard that one.
You're welcome.
Okay, let me just quickly catch up on the super chats and then we'll kind of dive into. I wanted to start from January and then like work our way through kind of the biggest horror pop culture moments. Got Lexius talking about Sinners and the Academy loving Sinners. I'm kind of not sure about that. I feel like I've seen kind of a lack of attention to it from major publications, but we can maybe get to that in a little bit. Thank you so much. What's up? Hope you're doing awesome. You as well. Hope you guys are hanging in there with Christmas being imminent. This is incredible having everyone together. I agree. It's been a while. I know. This is going to be a big topic of the day. I can tell. We'll definitely be getting into that. As for everyone else, we see you. Thank you so much for being here and engaging with us in the chat. But without further ado, I think we need to talk about Wolfman. And I think we need to talk about Lee Whannell and Blumhouse. So let's go all the way back to January. I know I can probably guess your thoughts on this movie, but let's talk about Wolfman a little bit. What's going on with that? Lee Whannell.
Woof.
Who wants to kick it off? Woof.
that was I mean, to kick off the year, that was one of my most anticipated movies of the year. I mean, that last year's Fantastic Fest, I was almost certain it was going to be one of the secret screenings. And then the last secret screen, it ended up being Creep Tape. So you have the guy walk out with the wolf mask, and my brain just immediately goes, oh fuck, it's the wrong wolf. And so I was like extra anticipating it. And for somebody that just loves Lee Whannell, like that, I mean, as a writer, he's done great things. You know, most of James Wan's biggest movies he was a part of. But I love every movie that he's directed so far. I was shocked how much I didn't like this. It just felt like, not just because it's so different, but it just felt like nothing was there. It's just like, oh, a guy just gets a disease and it runs around a little bit, and it never felt like the movie, the movie was ahead of me, like I was getting surprised by something, which is something that never happens with Lee Whannell. He's always got something smarter around the corner to surprise me with. I didn't like it at all. I was shocked.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys want to speculate at all on maybe like studio involvement or something, but yeah, I can't really begin to guess what happened there. I don't know. What do you think, Ken? Unless you loved it. Oh my gosh, sorry.
No. I mean, like, I don't think I hated it as much as you guys did. You know, like, it's not in my top 10 favorites or anything like that. It's not in my least favorites either. It's just one of those movies that I just was more angry at how mid it was. It wasn't even one of those movies where I could just like be like, oh, I remember I hated this part so much. It was just literally so mid that I didn't give a shit about it. And I think that's what made me angry about it, because with Lee Whannell, we had just came off of his Invisible Man remake, if I'm correct, right? Didn't he do the Invisible Man?
Yep.
Upgrade. Was there something in between? Was Upgrade in between? Upgrade was,
he did Insidious 3, Upgrade, and then Invisible Man. So, and it's been a while since Invisible Man too.
Oh yeah. That was his last
stretch. And coming off that, which I loved, The Invisible Man. I loved the modernization, and there were things in Wolfman that I did like. Like, I really did like the colors from the Wolf POV. I thought, little things like that it was a cool idea, but there just wasn't enough meat around it to make that worth it. Like, it's so forgettable to me that it pisses me off.
Yeah.
It looks like all that he has upcoming is just producing the 2026 Untitled Insidious sequel. He's not writing, not directing. He's not even executive producing. He's just listed as a producer. I don't believe that anything else has really been announced. Like, I think a sequel to The Invisible Man was announced like back in 2020 or something like that. What would you like to see from Lee Whannell? Like, what do you think his next steps should be?
Something original. He's just one of those
Back to
guys
square
that
one.
when he does something original, that's what I'm there for. You know, he did a great job with Invisible Man, and it kind of felt like Blumhouse was like, well, what's the next Universal monster you want to do? And it just didn't feel like his heart was in this one. So it was just like a picture deal kind of thing. And I wish it turned out better. But yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of like question marks. Like you got, it seems like Blumhouse has just made like a hard team up with James Wan now. They felt like they were, you know, two peas in a pod for a while, and now it seems like they're never working together. Does that mean there's trouble in paradise? Who knows? But you know, maybe James Wan's coming in and he's like, okay, I'm gonna go move somewhere else. But I just hope he does something on the level of Upgrade. That to me, that's my favorite, the thing that he's done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was it announced that he would be involved as well with whatever Blumhouse is going to be doing with Saw? I can't remember.
I
I
don't
feel like I
know.
saw that.
I don't know.
I thought
I don't
that I seen he was.
Yeah, I
There
thought
was
so
one
too.
time in the 90s that I was wrong, so it could happen again. But I feel like I did see that he was a part of that.
I thought so too. But with Blumhouse, I wanted to chat about them a little bit because I know they're doing fine. Like they had, I think, a couple movies in like the top 10 highest grossing of the year, including, you know, Five Nights at Freddy's. But almost everything they released this year has been like critically panned. I think Black Phone 2 might have been the only one not critically panned. I mean, they've made their money, but like I feel like Blumhouse is in a weird place where most of the stuff they're putting out is just like existing IP. I think they have one, maybe two original movies coming out in 2026. They just took Soulmate off of the release schedule. So I don't know. I also was curious your guys' thoughts on like the current state of Blumhouse and what kind of shift you think needs to happen or you want to happen with their kind of like branding and what they're putting out.
Well, I know they just pissed off somebody, and that somebody posted something that pissed me off. So I'll let you take the floor on this one, buddy.
Blumhouse.
Oh,
Is
I might be in the dark
fucking
on this.
weird. Yeah, they're just so weird, man. Like for a while there, like not that I liked everything that they did, but they were the ones that kind of paved the way for like director, filmmaker, creative driven movies. Like, hey, we'll give you $1 million to make your movie. And you know, sometimes it worked out great, sometimes it didn't, but they always made a profit, which was also kind of revolutionary. And then now it just feels like every year you can get maybe one or two good movies out of them, and then you get like 6 of your bottom 20. And you know, they shit the bed with Megan 2.0, which I actually didn't mind. I thought it was fine. I saw it with my daughters. They liked it. I think I enjoyed it because they enjoyed it. But for the most part, people pretty much just said no thanks to that one. Black Phone 2, I was actually surprisingly unimpressed with. I thought it was fine, but it didn't work for me the way that the first one did. I loved the first one. And then Five Nights at Freddy's, I had held out hope that you know, I liked the first one okay. Wasn't really crazy about it, but I was like, there's potential here. They'll do better with the sequel. And I didn't like the sequel at all. And what Ken's referring to is that
Well, that movie wasn't made for you, Cody.
Yeah, they made an Instagram post where it starts off kind of nice, where they have like a bunch of like videos or clips of like super Five Nights at Freddy's fans, like people getting engaged to. They're like, it was made for you, it was made for you, it was made for you. And then they screenshotted the critic score and it said it's not for you. And it's like, so what about all the fans that didn't like it? Because there's plenty of them. And the Blumhouse loves to post whenever they're fresh, but when they're rotten, we're all assholes. And so it's just, yeah, it's one of those things I get really annoyed with.
That is an interesting, different approach. I wonder if because they've had so many things like critically flop, like I wonder if they're like, let's try this, like a different approach or something. But yeah, that's a super weird way to go about it.
There's not many of their movies that get critically panned that the audience doesn't also kind of give the big thumbs down to. Like usually we're pretty in unison with Blumhouse. I mean, the one that was really funny, I think it was a year ago or so, you had Jason Blum himself. He put up a post where it was the same type of thing where he's like, this is weird. And it was the critic score was low and the audience score was high. And so I responded with a screenshot for the original Paranormal Activity, which is the movie that put them on the map. And the critic score was high and the audience score was abysmal. And I'm like, keep that same energy for this one. Like, you know, it's just annoying.
I feel like,
it's
sorry, you go ahead, Ken.
No, please. I would love to hear.
I Oh, I just was gonna make a note on Blumhouse that I feel like it's like a lot of industries where they were kind of the new kid on the block, like in the early 2000s, and they were kind of like the disruptor, kind of like Uber or like Netflix. It's like, oh, new, like something we didn't know we needed. Like they introduced us to James Wan with Insidious, and then they become so commercial, and it's like this isn't why we were here in the first place. But yeah, on to what you were gonna say, Ken.
They started making money. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
like they realized that they were going to make more money on the Five Nights at Freddy's because the fans are going to come see it. And I think I was a little more positive on the film than both of you were. I know nothing about the lore, but it's kind of like the Megan 2.0 thing with you, Cody. Like I went and seen this with my kids. We've seen it twice. We seen it once on the Thursday so we could do our review, and then our local cinema that only plays one movie a week played it, and we took our daughters to see it again. And again, I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. It was just fine. But being able to watch it with my kids, that's something special to me. And when I see them enjoying it and stuff, like that really ups how I feel about a movie because of the reaction of my kids. And then to see them post something so shitty about, oh, this wasn't made for you. You know, like that's such a
weak ass
shitty way.
excuse. It's such a weak.
Well, can you imagine the Beatles, coming out and being like, if you didn't like Hello Goodbye, that song wasn't written about you. You know what I mean? Like, fuck you, dude. Like, if you can take all the great things that people say about you, you better be able to take the criticisms they say and don't be a sarcastic douchebag about it.
And there's times where you can say this wasn't for you. Like if you're somebody that like, I just never like horror. Horror's not my thing. I don't understand the appeal. I'm just not one of those people. Then it's like, okay, well, it's not for you. But if you're a horror fan and you like the first one, guess what? The movie should be made for you to some fucking degree. And so just the fact that they were like, oh, you didn't like it? Well, whatever. There's plenty of people that did. Okay. You made your money back, but you made a good bit less than the first one. And then when the third one comes out, everybody that you just said that to is going to be way less inclined to see the third one. So keep playing that game. But yeah, I actually just remembered per what you were asking Kylie about IP stuff with them. I actually, me and my buddy ran into Lee Whannell casually, as you do, at Monsterpalooza back in May. He was just walking around as like a fan, and we were talking to him about stuff. And he actually said quite literally that, where they were like, hey, you going to do another one with Blumhouse? I think my buddy asked him that, and he's like, they're pretty IP focused now. And so to circle back to your question, I think he's wanting to do something original. And so I think Wolfman was probably his little swan song with them.
Yeah, I hope he can find his footing. He can find a studio or I don't know, somebody to fund him with something original, because it seems like I feel like you still almost see a lot of Lee Whannell's aura like in the stuff that Blumhouse puts out now. It's like he put his stamp on it, and then now it's too commercial for him. So because I just like, I say that to say I don't know that I could see him at like getting distributed by like A24 Neon. Like I don't know that he fits in there. But I kind of with some of the stuff that Oz Perkins has done with Neon and like The Monkey, I'm like, okay, like maybe now. I don't know.
A24 feels like they're starting to branch into more mainstream stuff too, especially with Talk to Me. I feel like I think they're going to maintain their focus on their weirdness, but I think they're going to start to have a little bit more, just like with Blumhouse, like, ooh, there's money there.
Sure. Yeah. Which is a bummer, because I still enjoy currently like the voice of A24 and Neon. Like I'm still really enjoying their stuff. And even though they are like, A24 at least is like $1 billion company, it still feels like original. It feels like they put out a lot of, it has that feeling to it still. So I just don't want to lose that. So, okay. Last topic on like Blumhouse, Lee Whannell, James Wan is, what do we think is going to happen with Saw? Like, maybe barring Lee Whannell, if he's maybe out of the picture, like, I mean, what the hell is going to happen with that franchise now?
I wish I knew, and I don't want to be morbid, but I hope they figure it the fuck out, because there's a ticking clock. I mean, Jigsaw's not a spring chicken. And so it really bums me out that there was such a huge stall, because to me, I thought Saw X was the best of all of them. I loved it. And I'm somebody that I enjoy some of the Saw movies, but for me, it's been like a rocky road. And that one was just like, oh, this is it. This is your next 2 or 3 movies. And the fact that they either couldn't figure out how to capitalize on that, or there was disagreements, whatever the hell happened, is frustrating. And then now that they have it, the fact that they didn't immediately announce like, all right, we got the rights and we're doing Saw 11 and it's going to be like the fact that they haven't even let us know makes me feel like they don't know. Do they want to reboot it? Do they want to do something else? And just it's frustrating because the secret sauce of Saw X was finally Tobin Bell is in the spotlight. If it's anything other than that, I honestly don't care.
See, and
finally a character study on like one of the most interesting villains.
Yeah.
Has Tobin has he said anything about? Because the last I heard, he didn't have any interest in coming back. He's like, I can't. He kind of had the Robert Englund thing. He was like, I'm getting too old, man. Like I can't keep doing this shit.
I didn't read that, but it doesn't mean he didn't say it. Last I heard, going back to Monster Palooza in May, he was there, and I met him briefly, and I asked him, I was like, where do you want them to take your character next? And he was being coy with it, and he was being funny, but like he looked at me, and he looked at my friend, and he looked back, and I was like, should I just like ask the question you don't ask? And he was like, to quality. And that was his answer. And I was like, okay. Fair enough.
Yeah. Wow. Fair enough.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I have no clue.
I don't want to be pessimistic either, but even with the merger of Atomic Monster and like bringing back the original voice of the franchise and stuff, I agree that Saw X is probably the best of the entire franchise. And with the franchise output that Blumhouse has had, as much as I've enjoyed a couple of the Halloween movies, between that and The Exorcist, I don't know that I trust them to really put together like another intellectual character study for Saw. Like, I just don't know about that. So
I get terrified every time they circle Nightmare on Elm Street. I'm like, no, anybody else? Fuck.
No. Yeah. All right. I have taken a big break from the chat, so let me go ahead and catch up with everybody here. Will Meister, thank you so much. Hey, Cody, always enjoy your takes, as they're usually the antithesis of my own. You're Halloween 2, I'm H2O. You're Batman, I'm Superman. But to my surprise, we have nearly identical thoughts. Oh, okay. We can't really talk about Welcome to Derry, though, because I've still only seen the first 3 episodes. I'm really sorry, everyone.
You'll
I'm sorry about that. Okay.
That's
good to know.
I was very skeptical, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, because I talked about the very first episode in my last monthly recap and how I just like wasn't that interested in it, but my interest has grown more with each episode, and now I'm kind of in it, so I'm enjoying it.
You might really like it then, because like for me, I liked it in episode 1, and then 2 or 3 episodes after, I'm like, I feel like not really much is happening, and then it just fucking goes for it in the last part.
Ooh, I'm excited.
Last 2 or 3 episodes, you're just like, and you don't even have to wait a week. You just get to watch them.
Yeah, I know. That's kind of also why I was waiting. I'm a little bit more of a binger than a weekly episode kind of girl. Okay, one last question about Wolfman. Is it better than the previous remake that's so boring, even when medicated?
Honestly,
Are we fans of the 2010 remake?
I've never seen it, but I always hear people say that it's so unfairly shit on. Like it's actually really good.
That's what I thought. I'll say I actually enjoy that movie.
Yeah. Like I know
I have heard from my audience that it's good.
Yeah, I hear the same thing. So, but they also tell me that Pet Sematary 2 is good. So what do they know? We'll see.
Okay,
I'm gonna watch it eventually.
Beep beep, Cody.
I enjoy Pet Sematary 2 a lot. I think it's like over the top ridiculous. It's just fun. But I love a lot of bad movies, so take that how you will.
As do I.
Yeah.
If I get to watch Mr. Krabs eating mashed potatoes, I'm in.
Yeah, Clancy. Yeah. Noah also just brought up a Creature from the Black Lagoon remake. I forgot that James Wan was supposed to be doing that. Is that still happening?
Probably not.
Yeah,
I kind of doubt it.
Anything about that?
Yeah, I haven't heard of like James Wan directorial announcement. I feel like in the longest.
No. He did. Was the last one that he? Oh, the last one was Aquaman. Yeah, I mean, he kind of got a raw deal with that one, so maybe he's a little jaded and just trying to pick his next project carefully.
Yeah, I don't know.
Here, he's developing and set to direct a modern remake of the Universal Creature from the Black Lagoon.
When was that
supposed
written?
to be happening?
When did that article come out?
I'm trying to actually open it. It's from August 12th of 24. So.
Yeah, so it's been a while. It's been a while. I'm not too sure that's still happening.
Doesn't sound good.
We've got to good jokes in the chat. Doing such a good job with Five Nights at Freddy's, though.
And there's people that love it, and I love that for them. I just think it's really unfortunate that you can't find a way to pay fan service and be an onboard to new fans at the same time. It seems really foolish to shut yourself off from new fans. And then there's a lot of fans out there that are such obnoxious gatekeepers where they're like, you don't want to watch 2-hour lore explain videos? Well, fuck it, go away.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah, I will say that like my comment section looked different this time around, whereas the first time it was no, like I'm a fan and I saw this and this and this and that's what I really enjoyed, and then this time around it was I'm a fan, but yeah, they kind of missed the mark on this one. Like
I saw a lot of that too.
Comments were also all over the board. I feel like with oh no, there were so many Easter eggs, and oh no, like there weren't really like the lore was all over the place in this one. So like I don't even know what's what because I'm also not going to be watching a 5-hour deep dive on all the lore and everything. And my last thought on that also for Blumhouse themselves posting like this is not for you. All right, I'll stop giving you free promo. I'll stop giving you reviews. No
that's
worries.
what my response was. It was I screenshotted that, and then my response was like a clip art image of somebody with their money, and I was like, not for you.
Yeah.
So, that's, I mean, if you're gonna tell me to fuck off, fine, I'll go watch something else. That's fine.
All right. Yeah, that might be the move. Are you guys still going to be on board though with like Strangers Chapter 3? Are you still going to go see that one?
I feel like I have.
I'm a completionist.
Same. Me too. Me too. Yeah. I don't know. Five Nights at Freddy's. I might actually step back from that one.
Yeah.
I have a lot of hope for The Strangers Chapter 3. Said no one ever.
Really? Okay.
I was about to say, explain. Yeah. That's one of those movies where I walk into it going, okay, at best, I'll have a great rant video when I get home. But yeah, at this point,
people
it's just
weren't
like,
even really interested in the last review that I did for part 2. I think
mine didn't go crazy either. My review for the first one did awesome.
I think mine did too, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
But
I think
people are kind of checking out.
I hate that I'm like that. Like I have to know what happens, even though the trailer pissed me off. Like I'm watching the trailer and I'm like, this is the dumbest fucking thing I've ever seen. Like this looks so bad, but I'm like, damn it, I'm still gonna be there opening night. Son of a bitch. Like
it was so funny when I was at Fantastic Fest and I didn't even bother sticking around for like whatever the little tease trailer was after the credits because I was just so annoyed with the movie and everything that happened beforehand. And like 3 days later, when it goes wide, Ken calls me when I'm sitting getting ready to watch another movie, and he's like, "You see this bullshit fucking trailer they put at the end of it?" And I'm like, "Nope, tell me what happens." And he's like, "This fucking happens. It's bullshit. I love you. See you later." Like
that's about how the conversation went too.
It was that quick. Yeah.
Oh man, I missed the end credit scene. I also just left because I couldn't. I had been like checking the time, and the guy sitting next to me in the theater left like an hour and 15 minutes in. So yeah, I was out of there. Can we? Is it too spoiler heavy to talk about?
Oh God, no! Please.
Right now, no.
Okay,
can you guys share? Okay. So what was in the
trailer? The trailer, which is now the trailer. The end credit scene is now the trailer for Strangers Chapter 3, and it has our lead walking around with a doll face mask on, like she's joining the strangers, and it has her standing next to them, and she has the doll face. It's giving me very heavy Dr. Sartain putting on Michael Myers mask vibes. And I'm watching
I didn't really see
and I'm
her
just like,
in that place.
Yeah, I was watching it and I was just like, I don't like why, what the fuck, what possible reason? And the big thing, and Cody and I spoke about this. I believe you and I did too, Kylie. Is I hate when a movie is so obviously throwing red herrings every time you meet a new character.
Yeah,
that it's just nuts. In a movie, the original Strangers, that the reason I believe, I don't want to speak for anybody. I know, Cody, you're not a huge fan, but I think the reason a lot of us really, really genuinely enjoyed that movie is because it felt very rooted in reality, and everything about that movie seemed extremely real, extremely probable. And then you're doing shit like this, and you're making it so impossibly hard to root for anybody. And it just, this trailer is the exact same way. It's her putting on the mask and who's Tamara? I don't fucking care. That I don't need to know. This movie is successful because they don't have a reason. I don't need to know everything. They did it because you were there. Period. And yeah,
I feel like
And
they
then
must have just. I feel like they're kind of just throwing anything at the wall to see how they can entice anyone to come back for chapter 3.
Yeah.
That's how
I'm surprised that's
see
getting a
that.
theatrical release. I would have bet money it would have been just Peacock or wherever
Yep.
the hell.
Same.
I mean,
I'm
Universal is trying to sell Soulmate now. Like Universal straight up is trying to sell that film.
Yeah, so I'm more surprised. Like, I would have thought it'd be the other way around. Like, Strangers Chapter 3 would have been, maybe sold off straight to streaming, whatever.
Somebody
and then,
take this fucking thing, please.
yeah. And then Soulmates, I mean, I guess Megan 2 didn't do that well, but, and I didn't even mention, but I actually loved it. Not really for good reasons, but I just thought it was so silly, and I had a really great time with Megan 2. So, I guess that didn't do well, but I'm just surprised by the turn of events. Alrighty, well, we've already been live for 30 minutes, and that was kind of like our first general topic of the day. So I might skip around a little bit. I wanted to talk about Warner Bros. They have the top 4 highest grossing horror movies of the year with Weapons, Final Destination, Conjuring, and Sinners. So later on, we can maybe talk about like the merger and all that hot mess. But next, why don't we get into summer releases? Because I thought that this summer was so great and the fall lineup was a little bit weak. I am starting to feel like the best season for horror is actually summer. We had, I know what you did last summer, Together, Jurassic World Rebirth, Dangerous Animals, Weapons, Toxic Avenger. It was just such a great season. In fall, we had Black Phone 2, Him, Conjuring, Strangers, Bone Lake, Good Boy, Keeper. So I don't know. How do you guys feel about the seasonal releases of horror? And like, I don't know, do you guys feel that anything has kind of changed? Because I took a look at this year and I was like, oh.
I think it's just a roll of the dice. Like, it feels like we're getting consistently good horror releases all throughout the year nowadays. Like the last 3 or 4 years, where like even this year kicked off with Companion in January, and I was like, that was fucking great. Jesus, like, okay, what's 2025 got for us? And so, yeah, it was a weak Halloween for sure. It was a record low, like I think since 1997 or something like that, October. So it was it was very bizarre, the movies that they chose to lead with. I mean, you had Black Phone 2, which I was kind of surprised didn't make more money. But you had that one, which wasn't released on Halloween. And then like the horror release that was kind of like the biggest release close to Halloween was Shelby Oaks. And so it really didn't feel like they let, like Conjuring, I'm surprised that wasn't a Halloween release. Obviously they succeeded regardless, but the way that they kind of sprinkled them throughout the year was a little odd. But yeah, I averaging them out, there was definitely better horror movies in the summertime than there was in the fall this year.
I don't know if it's just because it's like winter time right now, so we don't have the full fall slate for next year, but I recently recorded like, my most anticipated horror of next year. And I guess maybe it's also because like summer is blockbuster time, and because of the popularization of horror more so in the last like 15 years or whatever, like maybe that's kind of why we're getting the bigger horror in summer. But I don't know. Ken, your thoughts?
For me, it's just more about, I actually think I did a lot more, I got a lot more enjoyment out of the indie circuit this year than I did the mainstream. Obviously, I try very hard to go to cinema. If there's a movie coming out that I really, really want to see, I really try to support. But a lot of the mainstream movies that came out this year still didn't come to the theater that's closest to me. Like Together didn't come there. Companion didn't come there. So all these movies that like people are talking about that I didn't get to see in cinema really bummed me out. And then the big ones that I did see in cinema, a lot of them I wasn't a huge fan. Final Destination, I Know What You Did Last Summer. These movies, Death of a Unicorn, The Woman in the Yard. These big movies that came out, I wasn't a fan of. And so like it really does when you're constantly getting these, $70 trips to take my wife out to go watch a movie, and I'm not having a great time, or I'm sitting home watching a movie that was created by, true love of film, not trying to make money, and I'm having an amazing time sitting in my living room watching a great movie with my wife. We need to get back to we need to start showing these more independent films in theaters everywhere, not just select theaters. And I think that obviously that comes with budget. I get it. I respect it. I understand it. But it really fucking sucks that I have to get a screener for Silent Night, Deadly Night because it's not playing 3 hours in my area. within the theaters in 3 hours around me, no one was playing the new Silent Night Deadly Night. So I got to beg for a screener to see this movie that I'm so excited about, which made my top 10 of the year. And I couldn't even see it in cinema because it wasn't playing anywhere near me. So I think a lot of it also boils down to that. A lot of the, hardcore horror fans that are in rural areas like me don't have the ability to go and see a Together or a Shelby Oaks, where they have the ability to go see a Final Destination or a Conjuring. These big IP movies, Sinners, like you're talking about all these movies that Warner Brothers did. Their marketing is great, and they have the budget to play in every cinema in the United States. So it's a lot easier for those movies. They do have a leg up on the competition to be able to make a lot more money. So for me, when it comes to that, like Dangerous Animals, I thought was fine. I had a lot of fun watching that at home. Wish I could have seen it in a theater. That would have been a great theater experience for me. So that's for me when I live in, Cornfield, Michigan. I don't get a lot of these awesome movies around here. I get the mainstream and that's it.
What were some of your favorite independents from the year, or just smaller movies?
Hold on. I have a list right here. I'm not going to do any order because I'm recording that video this week.
Same.
Loved Silent Night, Deadly Night. There was a movie that came out this year called Bloat. I really did like Bloat a lot.
Yeah, that one's on Prime.
Good Boy. I like Good Boy a lot. The Man in the White Van, I thought was really, really good. I don't
think I've even heard of that one.
It's really good. It's got, I can never remember his real name, but Rudy. Bob from Stranger Things. Can't think. The Goonies, the main kid.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Sean
Sean
Astin.
Astin.
Yep,
Yeah.
It's got him, and then it's got now I can't remember her name either. She's Clear Rivers.
What's his face and that one chick and the dude?
Yeah.
Clear Rivers. Yeah. Wait,
Clear
Cody, did you
River
see this
from-
one?
No, I never heard of this one. Allie
Me
Larder.
either.
Is that who you're talking about?
It's got Ellie Larder, and then it's got the lady that was in Final Destination Bloodline. She was the grandma when she was young up in the tower. She's in it. I loved this movie. Your Host is a movie I really, really liked this year. Your Host is a mix between The Black Phone and Saw, and the host in the movie is holy shit, I am blanking on names so bad tonight.
I do that when I'm live all the time. It pisses me off. It's like my brain just goes. Yeah.
The remake Freddy Krueger. Jackie Earle Haley. He just, oh my God, he chews the fucking scene. He's able to play a loud, big role, and he just chews the scenery, and it's so fun. Vicious is another one that I really, really liked this year. I had a lot of fun with that one. Yep.
Yeah,
Brian
I feel like this
Bertino.
is part of the problem. Like there's I don't want to say an oversaturation because like I'm not mad about the output of horror necessarily, but I feel like maybe part of it is distributors don't necessarily know which movies to bet on, so it's kind of just like a crapshoot of like what we're getting. The only sure bet is like IP these days. So yeah, I guess it's not so much a seasonal thing. Yeah, your thoughts are interesting on that. Something else summer related, Bring Her Back came out. And I tried to get to the bottom of why this movie was so divisive and like having conversations in my comment section and stuff, but I couldn't really figure it out because it seems like the movie was pure emotion driven, and if the movie hit for you, it hit for you. Like I couldn't really quite get down to the bottom of like why the movie worked so well for some people. So I wanted to hear your guys' thoughts on the movie, and then also like what you experienced in your comment sections, and maybe any thoughts on like why it was so divisive.
For me, I think when you have a movie that's so miserably bleak, I think immediately you're going to have people that either really enjoy that or people that really bump up against it.
Yeah.
And the other thing with that film that I've seen the big divide on is whether you feel like, is it Sally Hawkins? Is that the name of the actress? Yeah, it's whether you kind of view the movie as like Sally Hawkins' story or you view the movie as the older brother's story. Because, without getting into spoilers, depending on which character you're following, you might be a little upset with how the story kind of gets chopped off at the knees. And I was very much in that camp where I was invested in that story. To me, it felt like it was building that as an arc. And I could already kind of see like the ways the movie could even be tragic and be very bleak in the end, but complete his character arc. And then when it just kind of goes away, I was like, I feel like I just wasted my time for the first hour and 15 minutes. Now I don't know. You better fucking win me back. And they never did. And there's some people that never had that problem. They were just like, oh yeah, and it was great. I felt it here. And I don't know. Like for me, I loved Talk to Me. That was my favorite horror film the year that it came out. I was psyched for this. And it just didn't work for me. I also felt like the nasty stuff in it, like the real grisly stuff, felt almost forced in this one. Like the scene with the knife. It's like you have to have characters behave like morons to have that happen. And I get pulled out when you do that. You're like, here, just chew on the end of the knife, kid. And I'm like, I know what's going to happen. You're setting it up for that. And it makes no sense. Like that, moments like that take me out. So that was another thing I didn't care for. So I was middle of the road on that one.
The gore specifically, I feel like was like, it felt forced to me because it felt like it came kind of from a place of pressure. Like we're following up Talk to Me with this. Yes. So that's kind of what I thought. But Ken, your thoughts?
I'm going to say this as vaguely as I can. You could have used the son. The exact same thing happened to him. You didn't have to wait for the daughter. The exact same thing you were hoping happened to the daughter happened to the son. It was right there in front of you, you know.
Well, that's what I was saying when that happened. I was kind of like frustrated and shocked in a bad way. But I'm like, okay, but given the nature on what just happened, that fits with the rules that they were just talking. We'll get spoilery for just a minute, so everybody earmuffs if you don't want to hear about Bring Her Back. It's been out for months, but
when I do this.
Yes.
That means we're done talking about it.
Yeah. So they set up this whole lore of like, okay, I want to get my daughter's soul back. And the only way to do it is I have to do this like step-by-step process. And one of the most important things is whoever's going to be the vessel has to be killed in the exact same way that my daughter was, which is drowning. And then what does she do with what I perceive to be the main character the whole time? She drowns him in a puddle. And so I'm like, that seems very particular why they would kill him that way if he's just going to be out of the movie and not be relevant anymore. And so I honestly felt like they were going to build to some kind of a bleak ending where in the third act, when she's chasing around the blind girl, some kind of accident's going to happen and she's going to die in the wrong way. And then now she's going to have to put the soul of the daughter in the brother. And so in a way, even though it's fucked up and it's bleak and it's dark, he still protected his sister from that fate. And he kind of completes his character arc of being her protector and making up for the things they did in the past. And I would have really enjoyed the movie if they did that. But the way that they went just kind of felt like, this is how it ends. Fuck it. And I'm like, that's not satisfying to me.
I agree because like the character that
if you want my opinion on this, rewind about 1 minute and 30 seconds and listen to that again. And that's exactly how I feel. Like when I felt when he drowned in the puddle, I was like, oh, well, he's the vessel now. You know, they just sealed the deal. Yeah. And I just didn't, I'm with you. I was like, she's done all this the whole time. Then the little girl's just like, Mom. And she's like, never mind. Yeah. Fuck. Take me to jail. You know, like, it's just that didn't make a lot of sense to me either. You went this whole, as a mother, as a father myself, watching this mother, I don't think that would have stopped her. Honestly, I don't think that would have stopped her from trying to get her daughter back.
It felt, the choices of the movie felt very illogical, and usually that's not enough to put me off, but because of the framing of like Alex being the protagonist, and the obvious framing seeming to be us not sympathizing with Sally Hawkins' character. Yeah. That's why the ending didn't work for me, because it seemed to be contingent upon you having an emotional reaction to her, like ultimately deciding not to go through with the ritual. So then I was also denied the catharsis of like them actually going through with this disgusting, crazy ritual and me getting to experience some horror catharsis. So I just felt like denied in both ways. So yeah. Anyway, I just couldn't figure out, because I presented that all in my video, and then people like that liked the movie, they either would say, oh, well, you don't need to empathize with her to like enjoy this, or like, oh, well, I was able to empathize with her, and I'm like, but why? You know, so that's why I was trying to get to the bottom of like why it was so divisive, and like why people, I still haven't really figured out why people liked it. So sorry, chat, to be boring, but I guess we all kind of agree here. Yeah,
I think it really comes down to your emotional reaction to those two characters, which one you invest in.
Yeah, which I just don't know why you would invest in The other one.
Either.
Anyway.
I don't either.
Yeah. Okay, quick break just to catch up with the chat. Thank you. Speaking of Warner Bros., Cody, you're a fellow superhero fan. I seem to find the energy to care who ends up getting the movie rights to DC Comics, so long as I get more movies from it. Your thoughts?
I mean, my whole thoughts on the Netflix and Paramount thing is basically whoever wins, we lose. I just hate the idea that we're just getting less and less studios and we're getting more and more umbrellas. And Netflix has said that they are fully committed to theatrical and they're fully committed to this, but it seems like such a tonal shift from what they have said for years, where it seems like they would always just be just as fine if theaters died tomorrow. So I don't know if I believe them. I don't know if I believe them. So yeah, I mean, it seems like they're going to be the ones that win. I don't know.
Oh, really? It's looking like that?
Yeah, today they denied Paramount's $30 billion thing, saying that they're not confident in where they're actually getting that financial backing, and so I think they're all guns ablazing for Netflix. Whether or not that'll be approved or not, we'll see. But it seems like the shit always gets approved, no matter how weird it looks. And I just don't want it to turn one of those things where Netflix has it, and so like WB carries on with the James Gunn movies, and then Netflix gives Zack Snyder his universe, and then we've got 6 different universes going. Like, that's what I don't want. And I love Zack Snyder, so it's not like a Snyder bro hate thing. It's just I don't want 5 different universes, and Netflix is quantity over quality all the time.
I feel like seeing someone who likes Zack Snyder is kind of rare to me. I'm not really in that world, but what's your comment section like when you talk about Zack Snyder then?
It's you never win. If you like anything that he puts out, everybody that hates him comes at you. If you don't like something he puts out, everybody that loves him comes at you. Like it's one of those things where whatever you say now, it's what have you done for me lately? If you loved 8 of his movies and this one didn't work for you, you're a Snyder hater. And it's like, whatever, dude. Yeah.
Is there an origin of the bad vibes? Why him? Or is it just one of those things that he's just kind of,
It's similar to one of the topics we were talking about before we went live, where I think people just want to have a cause. Where, he kind of got, he definitely got fucked over by WB, where he had Batman v Superman and they made him cut it 30, 40 minutes out of it. The movie was not very good. They put it out in theaters. It gets lambasted, and then they take Justice League away from him and they reshoot the whole movie, and it's abysmal. And so he really did get screwed over, but he also was doing something that was never going to be like this 4-quadrant superhero universe. And so, 2 things can be true at once. So people rally behind him as like, even just the fact that they got the Snyder cut back during COVID, which is all they said that they wanted. As soon as they got it, it's like, well, this isn't enough. Now you have to restore the Snyderverse. Now you have to give him the keys again. And until that happens, we're going to just, lambast everything that James Gunn does. And then if they do get that, it still won't be enough. Well, now you need to cancel James Gunn shit while he gets to do his shit. Otherwise, it's, how it goes.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I do. Yeah. Well, we're almost through the summer. We also got 28 years later, we got Weapons. And I feel like now might be an appropriate time to kind of talk about some Oscar predictions, because Sinners absolutely should be in the conversation. I am a little worried just seeing like the lack of like major publications talking about it. In fact, there's been such a lack that even some major publications have been talking about how no major publications are talking about it. And then there's maybe I've seen a little bit of chatter in the chat actually about Weapons maybe being in the conversation. I don't know about that. Any thoughts on like bring her back, maybe a Sally Hawkins nom, 28 years later, anything? What have you guys seen? What are your predictions?
The Long Walk.
There's a lot of movies that you just named, that a lot of things that should get recognition, but I don't think they're going to. I'm one of the voters for Critics' Choice Awards, which isn't exactly 1-for-1 with Oscars, but it usually ends up being pretty close with all of that. And there was a number of things that I tried to push for nominations with my little nomination reel that just got steamrolled for all the things that you could predict. Sinners is going to get a lot of nominations. Best Picture, Michael B. Jordan probably get Best Actor nom. You've got cinematography, costume design, best song, things like that. Is it going to win? I have my doubts for a couple different reasons. One, it feels like every time we get confident as horror fans, we don't get shit. I mean, we just had the same exact thing happen with The Substance, where it's like, it's Demi's year. Nope. And the fact that it came out earlier this year, and you've got movies like Marty Supreme and One Battle After Another that are pretty recent, that seems like that's kind of sucked a lot of the conversation out of the room. And the one that I'm really pulling for that I think could be a nice little surprise, which is getting some nominations and is getting some buzz, and so I really hope it does get an Oscar nomination, is going to be Amy Madigan for Weapons.
No way.
Mm-hmm.
No
Yeah,
kidding.
she got nominated at Critics' Choice. I've seen her get nominated a few other places, and so it's not a guarantee, but to me, that would be a nice little surprise where she'll be going against Ariana Grande and the Michael B. Jordan's wife in Sinners. I can't remember the actress.
Oh,
name.
Haley Steinfeld? Haley Steinfeld?
The other Michael B. Jordan.
Oh,
Wumi Masaku or something like that. I can't remember exactly how you say her name. And then I can't remember. And there's probably a couple movies I haven't seen, but it basically it'll be a 2-horse race: Amy Madigan or Ariana Grande.
Huh.
Yeah,
okay, I want to get some of Ken's thoughts on this before I do kind of want to circle back, Cody, and see if you can maybe let us in a little bit more on the Critics' Choice Awards. But Ken, what are your thoughts first?
I mean, like, I don't think it's a surprise to anybody, and I don't think, I mean, me and Ashley's top 10 horror movies of the year is coming out soon, and everybody knows my number one anyway, so I'll talk about it. It was The Long Walk. The Long Walk was my favorite film this year. I watched it once. I probably won't watch it again for 10 more fucking years because it destroyed me. But I was genuinely blown away by Cooper Hoffman and David Johnson's performances. I thought they were both so good, and I didn't even realize that was Philip Seymour Hoffman's kid until I believe I watched your review, Cody, and you dropped that bombshell. I was like, whoa, I didn't even realize that's who that was, but it all makes sense because he's incredible. And that movie, just everything about that movie, I think, is so deserving. The cinematography, Judy Greer could win a best, supporting actress. The little bit of screen time she had in that movie was just so strong, and it hit you so hard. Keep walking, it was just so incredible. And the cinematography of that movie is beautiful, but again, it's a horror movie that's extremely bleak and extremely dark. So I don't think we'll get anything for that movie at all. But it was my favorite.
What's bullshit about that, though? Just to cut you off, you're right, but you know what's bullshit about that? You watch all the other movies for the most part that get Best Picture noms. They're all fucking dark and bleak and depressing and long, and everyone that I've watched so far,
they don't have that horror label on it. Man.
I know everyone that I've watched so far. I'm just like, Jesus Christ! I watched Train Dreams last night, and it's 2.5 hours of Joel Edgerton back in like the logging days, and the whole movie is basically just this guy's life fucking sucks. And so every time I try to get through these movies, I'm like, this is long, this is slow, and I feel worse about myself while I'm watching it. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, and just to Tony, I did not say The Long Walk was the best movie of the year. I said it was my personal favorite of the year. I don't know. It's one of those movies that really spoke to me, especially about the current climate we're in America right now, and how sometimes it's better to just, even though you're better off being alone, it's better to team with the people around you, even if you have differences, for the the greater good. And I thought it was absolutely incredible. I really did. It blew me away. I don't know. I truly enjoyed that movie very much. So best movie of the year, and this is probably going to be a hot take for me because as a film, I think it's the best of the year. As a horror film, I wasn't a fan, and that is Sinners. I think Sinners is an incredible movie. I think it's one of the most beautiful films I've seen. I think the music is fantastic. The acting is incredible. Michael B. Jordan playing both of those characters was great. Nephew was good. I thought that was full. There's a lot of really funny moments in that film. Not just shit my pants. There's a lot of really funny things that happen in that movie. But as a horror film, it didn't do anything for me as a horror film. It was more of a period piece up until the third act to me. And it was like they tried to cram a horror movie into the third act. And again, I think that it's a good movie. I've watched it a couple times, and I think it's a fantastic movie. But if I'm looking at it through the scope of a horror lens, it's not even in my, it's not even on my radar this year as a horror movie.
All right. Fair enough. I did want to see if we could squeeze out any more insider info about the Critics' Choice Awards because I am pretty curious about this. Because one more comment on this. I have felt like it hasn't been that. I felt it's been a strong year for horror. I haven't felt like it's been a really strong year of movies. Like, I don't have anything that I'm over the moon excited for at the Oscars except for Sinners. Like, that's kind of, I really enjoyed One Battle After Another, but I'm either not caught up or I haven't felt like this year's been that crazy. So yeah, tell us more if you can.
It's definitely one of those years where it feels like a lot of the front runners are these movies that kind of quietly came out in the last month and a half. And, you know, to put it in a very cynical way, it's the movies that will win awards and nobody will talk about after January. And, you know, sometimes we get Oscar years where movies that are fantastic, they get all these nominations and all these accolades, are also movies that people love and, you know, a lot of people saw and will continue to rewatch. You know, I'm kind of a weird person to be in those circles because to me, I always feel so frustrated with like what we give awards to, where it's like, this is the best picture. And to me, I'm like, shouldn't the best picture be the one that's actually going to have like a lasting legacy, like that we're actually going to be talking about in 20 years versus the one that, like I said, we're going to give an award to and then nobody's ever going to talk about it again after February. And that seems like this year. Like I get a lot of screeners starting with like the middle of November that, you know, I'm supposed to do my due diligence and watch as many of them, if not all of them, before we vote. And a lot of the mainstream ones I've seen, you know, like you got movies like F1 that are getting more technical, you know, cinematography, sound design, things like that. Sinners, that's getting a lot of things all over the place. You've got, of course, Wicked for Good, which not getting as many as Wicked, but quite a few in there. Frankenstein kind of snuck in there in the end as far as horror goes. But like to list off the best picture nominees, you got Begonia, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Jay Kelly, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, Sentimental Value, Sinners, Train Dreams, Wicked for Good. I think if you polled 1,000 people on the streets, the only one that they would have heard of is Sinners and Wicked for Good. And, you know, One Battle After Another probably, but like a lot of those, like I said, are movies that I had never heard of until I just saw them on the list. And I'm like, well, fuck, I guess I got to watch these. And I was surprisingly really loved Marty Supreme, but that's not going to be a movie for everybody. I think it might be Timothée Chalamet's year. It feels like he's been campaigning fucking hard for that Oscar, and this might be the year. If not, it'll be another one for Leo, I think. But you've got, you know, like I said, Train Dreams, a Netflix movie that came out that I had never heard of, Sentimental Value, and I think what's the other one? Maybe it's just Sentimental Value. Is a foreign film I haven't watched yet. Hamnet is like a period piece about the writing of Hamlet, if I'm not mistaken. Begonia was the new Yorgos film. Jay Kelly, which was pretty solid. It's a movie with George Clooney and Adam Sandler that's coming to Netflix. So yeah, it's not a movie that, it's not a year where a lot of the nominations are mainstream films at all.
Yeah, whereas I felt like this year the Oscars were pretty exciting. Like it is actually kind of a toss up between, you know, a lot of people thought that Demi Moore was gonna take it home just because she's kind of like grandfathered in, you know, in the industry. So it was like actually kind of an exciting race this year. I don't know if it's gonna be that so much. All right. Well, this actually brings us to a conversation still straying a little bit from horror in general, but I really needed your guys' opinions on the recent quotes from one Quentin Tarantino and the mess that has ensued online about Paul Dano. And Matthew, you know what? This does apply. This applies to our community heavily, Matthew Lillard, because I'm sure that we have, you know, tons of people in the chat that have probably met him at conventions. I mean, this does apply to us, actually. It does. Who wants to start?
I think the interesting thing that came out of that is seemingly nobody gives a fuck about Owen Wilson because nobody came to his aid or like nobody, which is just, it's so crazy. Like people,
I didn't even know he talked about him.
Yeah, he named 3 people. He said he went after Paul Dano like he fucked his mom, and then the other 2 people. You had like he just threw it in on the back end where he's like, oh yeah, and Owen Wilson and Matthew Lillard is how he said it. Like, I don't like them either. And everybody's been going after like Paul Dano's a fucking genius, kiss my ass. And the horror community's been rallying behind Matthew Lillard and Owen Wilson. It's like, I guess I suck. I don't know. But
that's
anyway,
fucking hilarious.
All laughs aside. it's pretty classless. Like Quentin Tarantino, nobody can take anything away from him. One of the best filmmakers, writers, directors that will ever make a film. He's also a really fucking weird guy. I think everybody knows that. Some people don't like him for that. Other people just kind of like, Quentin's Quentin. But he seems like he's at that point in his career. I don't know if he's just getting cold feet about his 10th film because he's made such a huge deal out of it being his final film that like it almost feels like he's trying to sabotage his public persona so that he never does it and he just blames everybody hated him. Like it's weird. Like nobody asked him, hey, what is your thoughts on Paul Dano? He was just like, oh yeah, by the way, this guy fucking sucks. And
his 10th film is going to be led by Owen Wilson, Paul Dano, and Matthew Lillard.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I saw Ethan Hawke was on Joe Rogan, and I like his response because Joe Rogan asked him about it, and he goes, you know what? Something great came from that because I don't think Paul Dano had any idea how many people loved him.
I did see that. That was really sweet.
So that was good. And then like Matthew Lillard, we all love him. You know, he just seems, even if you're not a Scream fan, he just seems like one of those guys that's impossible to hate. And his response to that little clip from, you know, whatever the con he was at where
you could feel his pain, man.
Yeah, really. It's just like it comes with the territory, but it fucking sucks. Like in that moment, I wanted to go to war for him. And so, yeah, I think for all the weirdness, for the hanging out with Weinstein, for the foot fetish, I think this might be the one thing that movie fans hold against Tarantino more than anything. Is just like, who did you just throw under the bus, sir? I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Well, I think, Cody, I think the reason that you nailed it so hard, I think the reason why, because people have asked me, because I've went to bat for this on the channel a lot, is if you guys have seen, like I've made shorts about it. I've gone really to bat for Matthew Lillard on this, and people are like, what's the big deal? That's, the big deal is it's fucking Quentin Tarantino, a guy that all of us respect, for the quality of film that he makes, and not so much as a human being. Like, I'm not into all the toe sucking shit, but like, he's really a great director. He's done some amazing. He's done some amazing things. He is a genius, and to have someone of that caliber be like, I don't like this person as an actor, I think they're terrible. That does hurt. That does suck. And especially Matthew Lillard. You guys have heard the story. Like, we were at a con and Lillard's line got capped on the final day. So there was like kids and shit in the back that weren't going to be able to meet him. So Matthew was like, hey guys, everybody hold on a second. And he got up and went to the back of the line and was hugging the people that weren't going to get to meet him and doing the Shaggy voice for kids. And he wasn't making no money off those people. He did it just so those people that came and paid their money still got the chance to meet him. And it's like, that's why everybody got so upset over what he said about Matthew Lillard, because he's genuinely one of the nicest, most kind people in the world. And he said it best. He said, I'm not popular in Hollywood. I'm popular in this room. And that, when Matthew Lillard said that, like, that's it. That's true. Those are two completely different things. And it's just, it sucks. And Paul Dano, I think he seems like one of the kindest people in the world. Like, watching him in Prisoners, like his role in that movie just blew me away. And so, like, it just really sucks when you have somebody the caliber. If it was me or Cody or, we have an audience, but we're not fucking Quentin Tarantino. If it was me, Cody, or Kylie that was like, yeah, Matthew Lillard, whatever, he would have never cared. But because you had somebody of his level saying it, yeah, that sucks.
It's the way that he said it too. It's not like he just respectfully was just like, that actor doesn't really do much for me, or it's Quentin Tarantino's entitled to his opinion, and as somebody that has directed actors for decades, he's an authority on the subject. But when you, like I said, the way that he said it was almost like Paul Dano fucked his mother, where he's just like lashing out at him, and it's just like, dude, there's nothing about this that seems like an actual critical statement. It's just like you hate the guy's fucking guts. So I don't know what happened or what the deal is, but it doesn't look good on you. The fact that it was unprompted, especially.
The running theory somebody actually brought up in the chat is that maybe he got rejected by the three of them to suck on their toes. I think the running theory more so is like that he maybe tried to cast them and they weren't interested. That's what like a lot of people think. I saw kind of an interesting TikTok. Somebody was like pulling various roles of these men versus Quentin Tarantino, who the only person that ever cast Quentin Tarantino was Quentin Tarantino or Quentin Tarantino's friends. And I feel like I kind of latched onto that one because I don't know if you guys remember the picture of him in the convertible with Brad Pitt and with Leo DiCaprio. Do you guys remember that picture? It got kind of memed because I might be able to pull it up because Quentin Tarantino's face, he's posing harder than the other two as if he's like the most attractive man in the car, and so he kind of got clowned on for that. And so I kind of latched onto that theory of this TikTok because I was like, there may be something to that. Quentin Tarantino did seem to want to be an actor. Like maybe he's just developed this big chip on his shoulder because that didn't really work out, and he, for some reason, is unhappy with where he's at right now. Whether he's getting, like you said, cold feet on his big 10th movie or whatever it is. So yeah, just was curious to see what out there you guys saw and theories on the matter, because that was just absolutely ridiculous. Not on my bingo card for this year at all. Oh, I guess he's always been super opinionated. I don't know. He's not really a guy I pay attention to be honest. But this was like something that actually
very opinionated. But there's a very huge tonal shift in the way that he talked about Paul Dano. Like he's talked about like he's not a Alfred Hitchcock fan, which seems like a crazy hot take for a filmmaker that's a film historian of all things. But the way that he said it in the podcast I saw him in wasn't like, nah, fuck Hitchcock, he was a hack. It was just like, like his movies felt like he had to operate under these rules at the time. And I always felt like the third act was missing with that. Like there was a reason, an educated reason behind it that you can at least get some insight. Whereas this, it's not like, Paul Dano, he always feels like he pulls back when he should go forward, or like, he's up against Daniel Day-Lewis and it just feels like they should have had some, like there could have been an educated version of that. And instead it felt like a tantrum. And that's where everybody's like, what a random fucking guy to go after. Like,
yeah. And this, we haven't really seen this before, right? So is anybody checking in on his, like, nothing's going on neurologically with him or anything, is there? Because
I don't know. I would hope not.
I would hope not.
The guy's I fucking hate his opinion, but I hope there's nothing wrong with the guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Same.
It's a bummer just because the guy, there's plenty of other douchebags in Hollywood that you could actually go after that really are douchebags, like there's some people that don't like you because the way you review their TV shows, go after dickheads like that. Don't attack Matthew. Don't attack Matthew Lillard. And Paul
don't
Dano.
let your final destination be Matthew Lillard.
Yeah.
I mean, they may seem like little giants, but man, it's, just stay away from, the good guys.
I'm sorry you're on the outside of that joke, Kylie.
I know. You could see it in my eyes, I'm sure. I was like, oh, this is a pop culture reference I'm not getting right now. That's okay. Okay. Well, okay, maybe moving on to things that I do know about then. We should probably take them. Okay, wait. I gotta get serious here. Okay. I did want to take a moment to reflect on another favorite of ours, Rob Reiner, who tragically passed this week. Just absolutely the most insane news to come through this past weekend. So I really wanted to give him like a favorite movie spotlight. I don't know if you guys like picked one ahead of time, but I don't know. Ken, do you want to start? Do you have a favorite Rob Reiner movie? Want to spotlight?
I don't.
Can't do it.
We could talk Misery. We could talk Stand By Me. We could talk The Princess Bride. This guy had such an impact on my childhood, on my formative years. I quote Stand By Me all the time. All the time. I quote that movie. Whenever someone is, you were under the porch, weren't you little dick? I'll just say that to people for no reason at all. Misery has one of the most uncomfortable scenes, even by today's standards, with the hobbling scene. The Princess Bride, anybody want the peanut? Like there's so many things that Rob Reiner did in his life, and the way his life ended would be the worst way to ever go out. The worst. I don't care what happened. It's not going to hurt as bad as who did that to me. The knife wound doesn't mean anything compared to who's holding it. And my heart breaks for his final moments. Whether I agreed or disagreed with the guy or liked or hated the guy, he was a huge, huge impact on me. I think he was a very good man with a very good moral compass. And he made movies that really, really touched me. So it was a really, really shitty thing to wake up to, and I hope that whatever plane of existence he's on right now, he's found some type of peace in where he's at now.
It's
Yeah,
well
it's
said.
Rob Reiner's always been one of those directors. When you bring up his name, it's like, oh yeah, Rob Reiner's great, but like he's never, very rarely, if ever, brought up when people are like, who are some of the best or most impactful filmmakers of all time? You know, you always talk about the Quentin Tarantinos or the Spielbergs or the Christopher Nolan's. You know, there's a short list of names that we all kind of recycle, but you don't really hear Rob Reiner's name much. And it's a shame that it wasn't until after he died. You know, I made a little video and then we did a podcast episode talking about him, where you look and it's like, this guy's run from 1984 to like 1994 is legendary. And like every movie is like a year between, no downtime, and every single one of them are widely known by a lot of movie fans as the best of whatever that genre was. You know, you got This Is Spinal Tap, people say is the best mockumentary of all time. You got Stand By Me, people say is one of the best Stephen King adaptations and the best coming of age movie. Misery, again, one of the best Stephen King adaptations and horror films. You got Princess Bride, people's benchmark for a fantasy film or a love story. You got A Few Good Men, the best courtroom drama. When Harry Met Sally, the best romantic comedy. And so it's not often, you know, he's made a lot more films, and it doesn't seem like after that run he had near as much success. But to have that many movies back to back be so generational is insane. And like Ken said, it's hard to pick a favorite. I think my go-to answer usually is Misery, though. That's a movie that I remember walking in, my dad had just started it and was like, what is this? And you sit down and just glued to the screen. And to the point where I've always loved Kathy Bates ever since that movie, no matter what she does. Going back to Critics' Choice Awards, I went to the awards for the first time last year, and it's kind of surreal. It's like I'm in the same room as Colin Farrell and Ralph Fiennes. Like, I don't really see them, but they're here somewhere. And then she got nominated for Matlock, and I'm like, I'm in the same fucking four walls as Kathy Bates. Everybody else can leave. Like, it was insane knowing she was in there, and it's all because of Annie Wilkes. So. Yeah, I would pick Misery if I had to pick one.
Misery and The Waterboy together are why I always wanted to see Kathy Bates play Mrs. Voorhees. I think Kathy Bates could have been a fantastic Mrs. Voorhees in a true remake of the Friday the 13th movie. And like I said, those three movies, I agree with you. There's definitely an argument that Stand By Me is the best coming of age, Misery is the best horror, and The Princess Bride is the best fantasy. All those movies. And I believe you brought it up, Cody. Like, you look at The Princess Bride, and when those people go to conventions, they still have lines out the fucking building because of The Princess Bride. And
Carrie always has his little tent so nobody can see him.
It's just, God, this whole thing sucks, man. And it's not like he got to go out in a peaceful way with his, it's just. I think that's what hurts even more is the way that it happened. That would be the worst to me. That would be so devastating.
It's like a Phil Hartman thing, where for as many great things as he did, when you bring up Phil Hartman, your mind first thinks of how he went out, and then all the thing that he did. Yeah.
Well, hopefully we can keep steering the conversation positive. We did get somebody in the chat talking about favorite movie might be Spinal Tap, but I remember his best as Meathead from All in the Family. He did some acting that was great as well. My opinion, very few people reach the level of legend that he did. Yeah, which is weird that he wasn't really in the conversation for it. Like you said, I feel like because maybe at the time when he was making some of his biggest hits, that was kind of like the film school or film brat. What's it called? Film school brat era. I forget what they call those guys, but like Spielberg and Lucas and that like generation of filmmakers and stuff. So maybe he was a little.
Not the Brat Pack, is it? No, that's the Breakfast Club people. It's the Brat Pack.
No, film school brats. I think that's what they call them, like Spielberg and stuff. Anyway, but we also lost a few other greats this year, so I just wanted to give a little spotlight because a few of them I feel like were pretty big pop culture moments. There was Gene Hackman. We lost Ozzy Osbourne, Michelle Trachtenberg. That also was really tragic. Val Kilmer, similarly. Robert Redford, happily, I think he passed away at like the age 89 or something, and he has done so much for cinema over the course of his life and the Sundance Film Festival and all he's done for like independent cinema. Amazing, wonderful legacy. Diane Keaton. So yeah, I just, if anybody wants to touch on any of their favorite movies from these people in the chat. Michelle Trachtenberg, she's a little tangential, but I do want to shout out Black Christmas because I love the cast in that film. Val Kilmer, my family was really, really big on like Westerns. Tombstone was one of our favorites when I was growing up. So yeah, I don't know. Anybody else, either of you just want to honor anybody else we've lost?
I think you named them all. Ozzy was the big one for me because I had just got into vinyl this year, and I had bought a lot of his albums, and I actually just bought his box set the week that he died. And so I was literally going back through album to album, like reintroducing myself to Ozzy, like, man, these albums are great. And I think I got to No More Tears, ironically enough, and then heard that he was gone, and it's just like, okay. And then, putting on Mama, I'm Coming Home that night was kind of emotional.
Yeah, sometimes stuff is weirdly serendipitous like that.
Yeah.
And it is, and it sucks, man. Like it's weird because I've never met Ozzy, but he's been there my whole life. Like one of the very first songs I remember being my favorite song that I could choose. Like, this is the song I want to listen to, was Mr. Crowley. That and One by Metallica are the two songs that I can really remember being my first favorite song. And, these people, like I said, even though they're not in our lives like that, they've still been there. We've grown up with them. And it just, it sucks when they go like that,
All right. Well, glad we were able to give some of our faves their moment. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention also Robert Redford. Oh, it was on the tip of my. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention it. And now I'm. now it's gone. Sorry, what'd you say, Cody?
So Peter Green just died as well too. A couple people said in the chat. Guy from Pulp Fiction and The Mask, and
the bad guy in The Mask.
Judgment Night, one of my favorite 90s thrillers.
Well, rest in peace, all. I do have another couple topics for us tonight. I guess maybe I can let you guys choose what's up next. I did want to have kind of like a final reflection on Shelby Oaks because that was a big like blow up situation. And now I have Cody here, who's a little bit more of like an insider and can help inform us on that situation a little bit more.
Sure.
Just one last time. Please.
Yeah.
And then we also have a trailer to react to. Scream Legacy is a new web series coming out, and I'm really excited about this because it's fan made and they've been working on it for like the last year. And so I've been kind of like avoiding the first looks and stuff that has been posted to social media. I've seen some like behind the scenes, but I haven't seen any bit of the trailer. So I'm somebody that enjoys fan made stuff. I don't know about you guys. So we can react to that. We can talk about Shelby Oaks. What do you guys feel like?
We can bite the bullet with Shelby Oaks. That's fine.
Let's get that out of the way. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. And Ken, I don't think we've talked about kind of what's gone on with that and talking about Shelby Oaks. I don't know if you kind of experienced the same weird wave of negativity that we did.
I think that for me, it was more, I didn't do a review on the film. I just did a video where I gave my opinion on the whole situation. It's genuinely a fucking lose-lose situation. Like, there's no way. If you like the movie, you're gulping Stuckman. If you don't like the movie, you hate Stuckman. I've never met the guy. I've never talked to the guy, and I thought the movie was fine. It's not something I would, be dying to ever watch again. But just because I thought the movie was fine, then it's like, oh, you're just glazing Stuckman. You want to get on Stuckman's good side. And it's like, dude, I don't know the
Literally
guy. I've never
no benefit.
spoken to the guy. Yeah. Like, he's not going to see it and be like, oh, you know what? I'm going to put him in my next movie. Come on, man. Like, and then Cody obviously had a lot more of this shit happen with him. I think it sucks because it's not just Stuckman. Like, there was a lot of people that put a lot of very hard work into Shelby Oaks that is just lumped into, oh, they're in the Chris Stuckman movie. And that sucks. A lot of people didn't even get the chance because of how other people felt about Chris Stuckman. And then that, goes down to how if you gave it a good review, like, Stuckman paid you to do a review, or shit like that, or you get perks if you do a good review. And it's just like, this is real life, you guys. Like, I'm allowed to say something's decent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just was
know?
completely blindsided when I did my coverage. I was like really nervous because I felt like, oh my God, I'm probably going way against the grain. And then that just was not the situation. Were either of you like aware that this was like what we were walking into talking about it?
Not to
No.
this degree. I knew that it was
Right.
there. Like, I knew months ago. Like, it was a conversation that me and my buddy Sean had because we were just planning on seeing it at Fantastic Fest, if nothing else. We knew, like, okay, this is a lose-lose. Like, hopefully it's great because that's the lesser of two evils, because we can enjoy the film, we can be happy for Chris, and we'll deal with the haters like we do with any other film. But if we don't like it, we're going to have to deal with haters and the awkwardness of like, oh yeah, the movie's not very good. This is a hard conversation to have. But it was a shame that I got presented with this opportunity where I was talking with Neon in preparation for going to Austin, Texas, where I was like, hey, I'm going to be here. It's usually a bloodbath trying to get red carpet coverage or anything with all of the main trades attending Fantastic Fest. So I was just trying to see if there was any way to like get my name in the hat early to get maybe some red carpet for the premiere in Texas. And then they circled back to me a couple weeks later and they're like, actually, we got this thing going on where in 4 different cities where we were going to do like a film crew to follow Chris while he does the Kickstarter, the payback for the people that backed him, the early screenings. But we think just poetically for his story, it'd be cooler to have YouTubers do it. And I was like, yeah, that sounds cool, and then so they offered me New York, and I'm like, fuck, I've never been to New York before. Hell yeah. So like, I'm excited to go try New York pizza and see a couple of things, and then I get to see the movie early. And I didn't know what exactly the night was going to be, but yeah, I flew out that day, went and walked around New York for literally an hour and grabbed a couple slices of pizza to kind of get indoctrinated in, and then met Chris at his hotel. We chatted for 15 minutes, and then I got like a brief 20 minutes on the ride over to do the interview. Like, it's very guerrilla style with me, like holding a little microphone, and then just took some B-roll footage of him meeting some people for Neon, and then watched the movie, and then went home. That was it. And I thought the movie was solid. I wasn't like insanely in love with it. There was certainly some things about it that I had issues with. It was mostly in the writing department, but overall I was like, I think when you review movies and you review the amount of movies that I do, especially, like, the difference between, oh, that movie was $100 million budget and this was $1 million budget. And some people say it doesn't matter. It does matter because you look at what can be done on a low budget and you understand some restrictions. Doesn't excuse every flaw, but I thought it was good for a movie where he worked with $1 million budget, made it himself, and then Neon came in and helped him get a couple of reshoots for some gore scenes and stuff. And ironically, I gave it 3.75 out of 5, which was a quarter of a star higher than what I gave Halloween 2018. I'm known as a Halloween 2018 hater, and I'm known as a Shelby Oaks glazer. So it's like a quarter of a star difference between those extremes. But yeah, so I dropped my review, and the only difficulty for me was trying to acknowledge the bit of bias there, to be honest, which is also just going to kind of open people up to point it out. And it's like, well, I pointed it out for you. While trying to maintain the fact that, like, this is still my honest review. Like, there's no gain in it for me to say it's awesome. Like, yeah, I've met Chris twice, but like Ken said, it's not like I'm going to be the lead in his next movie if I give it a good review. It's not like I get a paycheck from Neon if I give it a good review. In fact, it would behoove me financially to shit on the movie because the review would go nuts and I'd get all the ad revenue and I wouldn't have everybody hating on me for 3 months. So if anything, it was disadvantageous, to be honest, and say, yeah, it was solid. But yeah, so I was shocked at how much hate there was. I expected some of it. I expected, the people that didn't like it to assign motives and, all the typical things we hear when people don't agree and they don't understand how opinions work. But to see how many like hit piece videos were out there and people that were just like, it was like a YouTube trend for a while there. It's like the running gag was, here's an honest review of Shelby Oaks. And it's like, oh, because you're going to shit on it. So that makes it honest. There was thumbnails out there with pictures of me and my buddy Sean at Fantastic Fest, where we got to interview Chris, like very much painting the picture like we're on the inside or something like that. There was stories getting made up where Sean, who wasn't even a part of these neon screenings, they're like, he went and flew with Chris to the hotel and they did this, and he's like, fucking do any of that. What are you talking about? And it was also weirdly targeted because like you had 4 people that did these neon screenings, one of which didn't really phrase it well and say exactly what the situation was, and kind of made it sound more like it was a personal thing, like Chris flew them out or Chris picked them or whatever, which didn't really set the narrative up well for the rest of us. And then you had a couple of YouTubers that have very close ties to this film. I don't want to say specifically because I'm not trying to target anybody, but like people that have way more invested than I did that gave it 5 out of 5. Nobody's bringing them up, but you give it a middle of the road review and you went to go to New York, and it's like, anyway, I'm defending myself at this point from stupid shit. But yeah, it was ridiculous. It was insane. It was disheartening. And, Chris has done some things in the past that certainly have gotten him in trouble. There's some things that I certainly wouldn't do with my channel, but he has never done anything to merit that amount of hatred towards him.
Right.
So it's just really weird to see.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I never watched anything Chris Stuckman did. I did not know Chris Stuckman, and I don't know if that makes me a shitty YouTuber or whatever, but I'd never watched anything the guy did. He wasn't somebody that was on my radar. He never was. So I think that's why I was more blindsided by this. I heard a guy that did YouTube was making a movie, and I was like, hey, good for him. I hope it's successful.
Yeah.
That's as far as it went.
Yeah.
Yeah, I viewed him kind of as like a pillar of the movie reviewing space because I do a lot of deep dives on my channel, and I usually go back and I put in like my search parameters looking for reviews from like the year the movie came out, and historically he's usually one of the only ones that's like actually been around that long, putting out reviews in like 2007, 2011. So I'm usually like pulling his stuff. Yeah, never watched him, had never seen any kind of like content about him. Like, how there are YouTubers that circulate and their faces get blown up all weird on thumbnails and stuff. Like, never saw that coming. And so I earnestly just took the opportunity to be like, this is a really, really interesting moment for like maybe even film history as a whole. Like I don't know the last time we got an actual YouTuber have a theatrical release, and this is horror. This is right in my wheelhouse. Like how interesting. Yeah, so I'm glad to hear that you guys also were unaware that it would like blow up in this weird way. I kind of forget that like, I don't know, not to bring up 2020, but it's like we were all chronically online, and then now I forget that a lot of people still are, and so I just like don't really expect this kind of thing to happen, and I realized I was very naive about that. So yeah, I already apologized in a follow-up video, but just if anybody didn't see that one, I did apologize for like insinuating in my video at all that like anybody might have had like a personal connection that gave it a positive review or something. I kind of forget what I said, but basically that I wanted to apologize to any fellow creators like Cody if anything I said inspired this crazy ass mob to go their way. So that was Shelby Oaks. That was unfortunately a very big pop culture moment of the year, so it felt like should probably discuss.
Did it feel like
kind of a learning moment for all of us,
Yeah.
Did it feel like this year had a lot more like weirdly specific targeted like toxicity and movie discourse than ever before? Because like I saw a lot of it for 28 Years Later. I saw a shocking amount of it for Happy Gilmore 2, and then Shelby Oaks. I think I might even be forgetting one, but it felt like every other week it was like this is the new thing that everybody's going at each other's throats about. It was kind of nuts.
Really? What was it for 28 Years Later? I thought people kind of largely pretty much liked that movie.
It was divisive, but it was one of those things where like if you liked it, you like artistic trash. If you don't like it, you just obviously want a simple zombie movie and you can't handle anything else. Like it was that stupid version of it, but it was pretty rampant. And then with Happy Gilmore 2, that was the one I could never get my mind around. It was like if you didn't like that movie, you just don't enjoy comedy or Adam Sandler or you're a snobby critic. Like it was, all of them were dumb. None of them were educated in any bit, but it was like really bad. Like Happy Gilmore 2 was the most toxicity I had seen since Halloween 2018, which is that's a statement if you know my channel's history. And so that was one that I did not see coming at all. I'm like, really? This is the one?
Yeah,
Do you
this
see
is
that,
the hill
Ken?
you want to die on? Oh my gosh! Luckily, I didn't do anything with Happy Gilmore 2. You know, like that one I didn't touch.
Me either.
But 28 years later, because I think that the big thing with me is I just talked about how I thought the end was bad. And I even said in my review, like, I think the end of this movie is really bad. I think that it could possibly turn around when I see the sequel, because maybe the tone will shift a little bit and I'll understand this ending a little more. But when I walked out of the theater, I felt like the last 5 minutes of this movie was written and directed by the Wayans brothers. And a lot of people, that's what I got. It was just like, you don't understand it, so you're an idiot type thing. And I was just like, damn, dude, like, when I have a bunch of, Beastie Boys jumping out in tracksuits and blonde hair and dancing and killing zombies after everything heavy I just watched, it threw me for a little bit of a loop. I'm sorry if that doesn't make me an artiste.
Yeah.
And like I said, once I see the Bone Temple, which is the best name ever, that could, swing my view on how I look at the end of 28 years later. It absolutely could do that. But
I have it on good authority that it will. I know my buddy Sean saw it, and he might have been even harder on it than I was, and he said that the Jimmies are fucking terrifying in the second movie. So,
okay,
Ooh.
yeah. See, and that's what I'm. And again, I didn't want to be like, well, I'm not going to go watch the second one because this ending was so stupid. I said, maybe it'll be like an Empire Strikes Back to Return of the Jedi. When people saw Return of the Jedi, they went back and loved the ending of Empire Strikes Back a little bit more. Maybe that'll happen with this. And I hope it does. I don't ever want to dislike something. I'm too fucking old. I could die tomorrow. Everything I watch, I want to enjoy. I don't want my last movie watching experience to be the fucking Jimmies and 28 years later. I want to enjoy everything. So... I'm hoping I go into this next one and I'm like, this totally changed the way I feel about this other one.
Mm-hmm.
I was really curious about that one because just because of its like January 16th release date, that made me feel a little bit trepidatious, but it makes me feel a little bit hopeful again.
I'll tell you what, there's a couple of them that aren't good, but a lot of the movies that I saw at Fantastic Fest this year are January and February releases. Horror fans are going to eat fucking good in January and February. So
No
Bone
kidding.
Temple, if I have the same experience with Bone Temple that my buddy Sean did, I mean, Primate was awesome. I loved that one.
No way.
I would have to go through the list and find some more, but a lot of them was like, it's coming out February, it's coming out January. And I'm like, wow, that's going to be
the
great.
new Sam Raimi is like January 30th. And I was like, oh no.
Yeah, that send help.
Yeah. The only one that I saw that I didn't like that was, I think it was February, was Whistle. That was the only one where I'm like, wait, see something else. But all the other ones.
I haven't heard of that one.
Yeah.
And then we got Return to Silent Hill. I'm actually very excited about that one too.
Oh,
So-
that could go either way.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
way.
Like, Silent Hill 2 is probably one of my favorite video games of all time. So I'm excited that they're actually adapting off of the game. But like you said, we could get a Last of Us or we could get a Mortal Kombat Annihilation. It definitely could go either way in this one.
Yeah.
Too bad
I
will die.
I'm on the outside again.
Oh,
Mortal Kombat.
Okay, you guys
Mortal
have your
Kombat.
one.
Really?
Sorry. We're old. Sorry.
Yeah, unfortunately. Oh yeah, we can check that off the bingo card. Ken acting like he's the crypt keeper on a stream. You're always talking about how you're old. You could like be my older brother. You gotta chill out. It would be an
older brother. I'm like your dad's age, dude. Chill that shit out.
My dad is a boomer. He is 66 years old. Okay.
Dude, I'm a boomer. I drive now at night and I'm like, turn your brights off, and it's the regular lights.
Not the LEDs, huh? Okay. All right, Grandpa. Okay. I'm gonna check in with the chat really quick because I'm way behind. Somebody did mention David Lynch, and yeah, I'm so sorry I neglected to mention David Lynch. May he rest in peace as well. I haven't seen too much of his stuff. I'm pretty sure I know that I would love Twin Peaks. Do you guys have a favorite movie, David Lynch?
I haven't gone down the David Lynch rabbit hole yet.
Same.
I've seen The Elephant Man. that might be it. Shit, I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. I have a feeling it's not going to be for me. It's an unfair statement, but I think it might be a little too weird for me.
Yeah.
I like Eraserhead. I like Mulholland Drive. You know, like there's things that he's done that I think are good. But again, I'm not like a huge fan, but he's somebody I respected.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, kind of in the same boat. Thank you so much. Not speaking on the movie, but the Stuckman thing is stupid. Imagine thousands of people cursing your name for the audacity to switch jobs. Ridiculous. They were mad at him about that too?
Well, there's a bunch of things. He did like a fan rewrite of like a couple of scenes of Batman v Superman that he still gets shit for. That's where if you see people say, tell that to Zod's snapped neck, that's what they're referring to. And so he's got a section of people that hate him for that. He has a section of people that just hate him because they probably don't like his opinions. We all have those. And then the fact that he stopped doing negative reviews and stopped doing the hilariosity things. There's a section of people that hate him for that. And then there's just the side of people that are the jealous haters, where it's like, this guy made it. He was able to make a movie. Mike Flanagan put their name on it. Neon put their name on it. And it's in theaters. So fuck you, because I can't do that.
Oh, yeah. That's what people thought I was doing. They thought that I was jealous hater.
Yeah.
You're right. I do kind of forget what we were talking about when this one came through. When you're forgetting is Superman.
Oh, movies with toxic discourse. Yeah. Superman was another one.
Oh,
Superman was
yeah.
We all knew that was going to be bad.
Yeah.
That one didn't surprise anybody.
Until I saw Cody's review, I didn't know anything about a toxic fandom of Happy Gilmore 2. I am someone who grew up with the movie and actually shed a few tears at the ending. I loved it. Oh,
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Larry. And finally, so many people say that line Cody just delivered in is the worst in Mortal Kombat Annihilation. It's not. Shao Kahn saying it is glorious is the worst line, and a total lie. Once again, I'm on the outside of this, but whatever you say.
Yeah, you want to be on the outside of this one. If you haven't seen Mortal Kombat Annihilation, I'm happy for you. Like it's bad.
Yeah.
Okay. Yay. All right. I guess now then we can move on to reacting to the Scream Legacy trailer. Okay. I don't to preface though, are you guys like fan-made film kind of guys? Is this just me?
A little hate for me. Like I really enjoy what Vince makes over at Womp Stomp. I've enjoyed all of his stuff, and I'm happy to support him. He's a friend. And then you have It's Me Billy 1 and 2, which my buddy Dave McCrae made, which I'm a big fan of. I haven't seen a lot of others, but the ones that I have seen, it kind of felt like Vince opened the door for everybody and their mother to make a Friday the 13th fan film, and most of them are pretty bad. And so I very quickly jumped off the train of that because there was either people that were just not okay with negative reviews, which to me is just, at that point, I'm done with you. And then there was a lot of other weird toxicity where like a guy was like almost borderline threatening me to review his stuff. Like I'm some kind of like an asshole if I decide not to. It was weird. So like I had a really weird interaction with a director on Twitter of one of these movies. And after that, I was just like, okay, I'm done. Like they kind of treat a lot of us like they're whoring us out. Like they just want us, they want coverage on our channel to get views on their video. And to me, it's like, no, you can find somebody else.
Because that's just a dick thing to do. I don't owe you a fucking thing.
Yeah.
Like you guys are my friends. And when I put out my film, I was like, hey, if you want to do this, cool. If not, it's fine. I have no hard feelings. I know how busy you are, and it's just like, I can't believe a total stranger feels like they can talk to somebody like that. Like it blows my mind, the entitlement you have for yourself. Like that really sucks.
Yeah, the tone of it was essentially somebody saying, hey, you should review this. And I was like, I don't really review fan films anymore because of the experience that I had or whatever. And the director chimed in. He's like, oh, it's a shame you don't want to cover us because we've given so much money to charity and, you're not supporting that. And you've reviewed this other guy's film and he's kind of an asshole. And I was like, that's really selling me on reviewing your film. And then he lashed out and then blocked me. And I'm like, okay, well, we're done with that. Yeah,
I've yet to experience that one. I guess given time, maybe I will. I also have been saying the wrong name. I don't know why I am calling it Scream Legacy. It's Scream the web series is what it's called. So many apologies to the creators. But Scream the web series. So I say without further ado, we give it a little reaction. I think it's like a minute and a half. Okay. So let me just see if is this fine? Does this look okay?
Yeah.
Okay. I can also make it full. And can you hear it?
Yep.
Hello?
This must be a throwback. Who has landlines nowadays?
True.
Roses too. I see them bloom for me and you.
Oh, this is a teaser trailer. Okay, so I might have to share the synopsis with you guys afterwards. Fountain scene, of course.
What a wonderful world.
Was that Sydney's book?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I wonder if it's like...
After all of this,
I wonder if it's like a cult situation where it's
if
happening
they'll
in multiple
be able
cities.
to recognize your body.
Did they actually get Roger L. Jackson? That sounds pretty close.
Oh, the voice is pretty good.
Huh.
Interesting. Voice was pretty good. Voice was pretty spot on. Let me see. I've got the synopsis here. The different cities thing is giving me the vibe that they're finally going to go with like the cult. Wasn't that like a fan theory for a while? Yeah, the cult of Ghostface. In the wake of the events of Scream 6, a group of film students are in full production of making a fan film based off the Stab franchise. Fiction soon becomes reality when a new killer donning the iconic Ghostface mask decides to target the crew. My goodness. Okay, so it's meta. Like they're making a fan film, I guess, is the plot of it. So yeah, there you go. Oh, Matt Draper, hey! Congrats to you all making it through another year on YouTube. On a positive note, what are some of your favorite videos you've made this year? Oh, favorite videos. I don't know.
Mine's probably the 31 on 31 that we just did with the zombie films, because I was having a really rough month for many different things. Some things personal, some things were just like stressors, some things was YouTube. It was a low month with all the just it being a low October in general for movies, which was depressing because usually October's like, you know, take it to the bank. That's going to be the month of the year as far as ad revenue, and it was not. And I actually got to the point where I was like 3 or 4 days out from having to do this video where I was just not in it. And I'm like, you know, this might be the year where I just do the basic bitch version and I don't put anything into it, which sucks. But I just did not have my head into it. And luckily, some of the other guys I was doing it with started like showing little teasers and previews. And I'm like, these bitches are making like full on films. Like, what the fuck is this? I can't get showed up. And so I actually made like within a day and a half, like a whole zombie short film in my front yard and like a wraparound story and like progressed my zombie makeup as I was ranking the movies. And so I went pretty into it after that. And I was pretty happy with how it came out. So that's my favorite.
Oh, hell yeah. I think for me, it's probably my Trick or Treat deep dive. I did 2 deep dives in October. I did that one, and then I also did one on the novelization of the original Halloween. Because that novelization I didn't know existed for the longest time, and how many movies actually have novelizations from like the 70s and 80s. So that was really cool because I learned so much. There's a lot of really deep cut lore in that book, so that was a lot of fun. Nice. How about you, Ken? Do you have a favorite?
I'm not gonna pick a favorite video just because most of ours are interviews, and I don't want to do that. So I'm gonna say a series.
You know, it was Ruby Modine. Don't you freaking play with me?
You interviewed Ruby Modine?
I did. She's so incredible. The coolest thing about her is like she is just a sweetheart. Mm-hmm. My daughter, I don't know if this makes me a bad parent. my 5-year-old, we watched the new Silent Night, Deadly Night with her because she does
my
love horror and she loves Christmas horror. And at the end of the movie, I'm not going to spoil what happens at the end. My daughter looks at me and she goes, "She's a bad bitch."
Yeah.
And I laughed about it. And
Yeah.
Ruby made a video for her because she said that. So Ruby made, I contacted Ruby after the interview and told her. And then the very next day, I get an email from her, and it's a video from her to Kenley. And she's just, talking to Kenley about how, no, you're the bad bitch. And it was a really cool,
That's awesome.
It was an awesome, it was really
Aw.
cool that she would do something like that for my kid. But I'm going to say this, I love Ashley's Villain of the Month series. Every month she does a different villain and gives like a deep dive into the villain, some of their iconic kills, the way that they were killed in the movies that they're in. And I don't touch those. The only thing I do is edit. I edit the clips together. That's all I do. Ashley writes it. So it's so fun for me to go in and she just like, "Hey, my video's done." And then I just go in and get this, edit it as I'm listening to it. And I'm watching my wife, just absolutely. I think it's bigger for me because Ashley, for those that don't know, Ashley and I have been married for 20 years. We got married right out of high school. We met doing audio video production in high school. That's how we met each other. And she was never on camera. Yeah, she was never on camera. She was always behind the scenes. She was writing, she was directing, she was storyboarding. She hated being on camera. So for me, there is also this feeling of pride when I'm watching my wife, who is always so nervous about this, come in and just kill these videos, and going from having to do 60 takes on a 4-minute video to just one take nailing it down all the way through. It's awesome, man. And so like that for me, anytime I get to watch Ashley do her thing, those are my favorite videos. Like I love watching her succeed and love watching her just absolutely go above and beyond where I ever thought she would go on being in front of the camera.
Hell yeah, I love that
Does
answer.
she feel that? Does she feel that growth where she's so much more comfortable on camera, or is it just something that you've noticed?
Oh no, like no, she like we've talked about it, and she's like, I never, because when Sledgehammer Horror first started, it was just me, and it was me telling her. She was giving me these ideas. She was like, I want you to do this thing called Didn't See That Coming, where you talk about a movie with a twist ending, and you should do verses where you talk about an original versus a remake. And then she came up with the idea for Didn't See That Coming. And I was like, yeah, I'll do these, but you have to do them with me. So these ideas were floating around for probably months before we ever did them because Ashley would not get on camera.
Yeah.
And now, we go to Horror Hound and she interviews Kevin Durant, and she's just a natural at it. And so, like, for me, there is that feeling of like a pride, like watching her grow in front of the camera and as a human being. She's very, very introverted still. Like, she's still a huge introvert. Like, and I think that's why her and I have always been so well together, because I'm always the one that's like, oh, there's a camera. Hey, how you doing? And so we've always been the yin and yang to each other. And I think that's why she's my soulmate and she's the person for me, is
There
we're
you
just
go.
so opposite that it's right there. It's together.
That's good.
That's sweet. I do have another favorite I wanted to mention. I forgot that I released a short film this year, so that's probably definitely my favorite. That was a labor of love, a labor of money, and a labor of labor. And yeah, we are still currently crowdfunding for the next one. We just locked down our shooting dates. We're shooting it February 5th, 6th, and 7th of next year. So it's coming up really quickly. So I'm really excited. I guess that's a little bit of horror news for you.
Congratulations.
Really, thank you. I do want to catch up with the chat because once again, I'm behind. Someone asked if we're fans of the Scream TV series. I am, personally.
I never watched it. I heard mixed things about it, and then I think it was season 3 where they kind of just like rebooted, right? Like they just did a whole different thing. Yeah, at that point it was like, well, there's no point in starting then, because if we're just gonna get left on a cliffhanger, I will not watch a show if I hear that they just cut it off.
Yeah, you shouldn't watch it then.
I hate
Ken, have
that.
you seen it?
I was not a fan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no.
Gotcha.
It's like Ash versus the Evil Dead. Like, still, when people ask me
Oh.
if there's a show I could bring back, what would it be? Give me one more season of that, please.
Yeah, I agree. One more Halloween Resurrection over Halloween 2018. Thoughts?
Come on now. As the resident Halloween 2018 hater, I mean, look, I don't know if you're trolling or if you're serious, but that is a wild take.
I don't hate Resurrection. I'm one of the few people that
It's not
I
my
think
bottom.
It's fun. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
same.
put it. That was the first Halloween movie Ashley had ever seen in cinema, and so like she still has a really big soft spot for that movie. And so I think it's fun. You know, it's not a good horror movie. It's not a good Halloween movie, but it's a fine shut your brain off and have fun movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a lot of fun with it. Oh, thank you all for an entertaining evening. You're welcome. Thanks for being here. Yeah, thank you all for being here for another year of horror and of horror content and supporting us with your view so that we can keep doing it. That's about all I've got for this evening. If there's any other news you guys want to chat about, anything you're super excited for in the year 2026, maybe we can kind of leave off with that.
Let me look ahead because my brain cannot process movies in the next year yet.
I'm excited for Evil Dead Burn. That's what I'm
me too.
excited for.
Did you guys see Infested?
I did. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
that's why
very
I'm
curious. I'm very curious on what that's going to be translated to. Yeah. To get the obvious, like, you know, blockbusters out of the way, very excited for the new Spider-Man, curious for the new Avengers. I don't know if I'm excited for that one or not. And then
Is that is coming in 2026, both of those?
yeah.
Holy shit. Wow.
28 years later would not have been on my list, but after hearing Sean's response to it, I'm very, very excited for that one. The Bride seems like it's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, dude.
I'm curious about that one.
Excited is not the word. Morbidly curious about Scream 7.
Same.
So, yeah.
Same.
I don't know how to categorize that one. And I don't have any faith it's actually going to be done by next year, but every list I see keeps having Terrifier 4 listed. I don't even think they're done with the script yet. So
Yeah, I don't.
Oh, really? Yeah, because I saw it has like an October 1st release date. I was seeing that in articles and stuff. But yeah,
I may
haven't
be
seen
one
any
of the
other
only
updates.
ones, man, but I'm stoked as shit for Scary Movie 6.
Oh yeah.
I'm hoping it's going to be a return to that era of comedy. If it is,
Yes.
if the trailer comes out and gives that vibe, I will be there with you. Yes.
What movies do you guys think it's going to be covering? Because how many years has it been now since we got the last one? It's
my
been at
gosh.
least a decade,
I
right?
think for sure we're going to get Halloween, Scream, Megan, Talk to Me. That one writes itself, you know, having the little
Yeah.
Hereditary and
Hereditary
Get Out?
Terrifier.
Get Out. Yeah. Probably Get Out for sure. Yeah. That's a good
Yeah.
call out. Yeah. Ready or Not
Yeah.
2's coming out. I just saw that one. That one's, I didn't watch the trailer to it yet, but I love the first one. That should be good.
The trailer
Yeah.
is extremely spoilery.
Of course.
They show a kill in it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why I don't
Of a
watch
major
trailers
character.
anymore. That's why
Pissed me off.
That's why I do not watch trailers ever anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
Obsession.
I know. I'm like,
I'm looking forward to Obsession.
Oh, that movie's fucking awesome. You guys are gonna love it.
I think I'm getting a screener link for that one.
Good luck.
What do you guys?
Sorry. Good luck, have fun, don't die. This is the new Gore Verbinski film. It was one of the secret screenings. The movie is fucking amazing. I have fears that it's not going to do so well because it's such a hard movie to market. But Sam Rockwell travels back in time. The world's, it's like Terminator. The world's going to be doomed because of the rise of AI, and he's at this diner, and he's like, there's a certain configuration of 6 of you that are going to be the right group of people to help me stop this tonight. And he's on like trial 212 or whatever when the movie starts. It's hilarious. It's wild. The comedy in it and the social commentary is like, it's shockingly dark and yet hilarious. Like, the funniest bit in the movie is about school shootings. And you think, like, how do you make that funny? They make it funny as fuck. Like, it's a movie that I'm telling you guys, check that one out. Do not let that be a fail. And everybody watch it.
Verbinski is like, I've been waiting on his next thing because his last movie was, I think, A Cure for Wellness. I think.
Yep.
Yeah. So I've been like, where are you, man? He's Pirates of the Caribbean, The Ring. Like, he's kind of on my Mount Rushmore. And I love Sam Rockwell, so I'm so happy to hear that it's good. I'm so happy to hear that.
I was
What do you
not
guys?
excited for it at all when they announced it. I'm like, what the fuck is what is this title? What does this even mean? And then within like
Right.
the movie opens with Sam Rockwell just walking into this diner and just like taking the stage and doing the Sam Rockwell thing, and I was like, I'm in. This is awesome.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Thank God. Okay, I am curious your guys' thoughts. Are you guys excited for Lee Cronin's The Mummy?
I don't know enough about it yet. I'm excited for Brendan Fraser's Mummy 4.
Yes.
Or Mummy 3, I guess.
Right.
Technically. Yeah.
Yeah.
Duh.
But what I did see from this Lee Cronin's The Mummy, it actually looks like a pretty good synopsis. Like a dude loses his daughter, and like it looks like a crazy twist on it. So I'm excited. I think it'll be. But again, it's so hard to judge because my most anticipated for this year was him. And one of my worst films of the year this year was him.
Yeah. It's you
Like
can
that
never
movie-
know.
Yeah, I heard, Marlon Wayans, Jordan Peele produced. I was like, this is gonna be dope, and I'm a huge football fan. And I was just left so bummed, man.
Oh, and by the way, I feel like usually on the list of anticipated movies or like on IMDb what's listed, I typically always see like an untitled Jordan Peele film.
Every single
No
time.
shot about that. What do you guys think is next with him? I mean, what's going on there?
Something good, I hope.
Yeah, just do something good, please.
Yeah, like I don't know. Jordan Peele, like I love Get Out. I think Get Out's brilliant. I'm not a fan of Us, and I thought Nope was good, but I wasn't crazy about it. To me, he's a guy that's unbelievably talented. I'm there day one. I'm so curious, but it just feels like he's gotten a little high in his own supply, where it's just like my ideas have to be so massively grand, and I lose sight of the baseline storyline for all of my metaphors, and I just hope whatever his next one is kind of pulls that down a bit more, because that was not a problem in Get Out.
I agree. I think because
what
he
I
produced
will
Wendell
say-
and Wild, right?
Which one?
Sorry. He produced Wendell and Wild, I think, which was like I had the same problem as Nope, where it was kind of just like too many ideas. It was a lot. Sorry.
Well, it
Ken.
tends to be every movie I've seen him produce kind of has that. I felt that way about, even though I liked the movie, I felt that way about the Candyman reboot, where it just got a little heavy in the third act and didn't flesh it out enough. And then Him was all over the place. So yeah, he produces them, but it's almost like one of those Spielberg Poltergeist things. It's like, did he actually direct some of this? Like, I don't know. I feel his fingerprints all over this.
Yeah,
See,
I hear that.
When
Sorry,
I first
Ken.
saw Us, no, that's fine. When I first saw Us, I hated it. And on a rewatch, I liked it a little bit more. I think that I had called the twist in Us pretty quickly, and I've always felt that I'm pretty dumb. So when I can call out what's going to happen before it happens, I'm like, oh, this is bad writing.
I called it in the first 2 minutes, and I was just like,
Yeah.
it can't be that simple. Oh, yeah.
Right, that's what I thought. I was like, something else has to happen, and it didn't. But on a rewatch, I was like, you know what, this isn't that. Now that I'm, just rewatching it, not trying to pick apart and trying to guess what's happening, it's a fine movie. But I just don't think that he'll ever reach the heights cinematically as what he didn't Get Out. The Sunken Place is a genuine fear of mine. That, to me, that allegory of dementia and being inside your own body and not being able to control what's happening and maybe seeing from the inside, that's a genuine huge fear of mine. And so I just that movie hit me in a special place just because of that. And obviously Lil Ray, he was hilarious in that. TS motherfucking A. That movie had a little bit of everything to me. So, and then the bad guy from Billy Madison's in it, man. Like, come on. You can't have a movie with him and it not be good. So there's just a lot that that movie did, and it's going to be very hard for him to ever live up to that expectation again, I think.
My favorite
I wonder-
memory of Us is I was in a group chat with a group of friends at the time, and we all were seeing it one by one, and none of us were really liking it all that much. And then we had one of our buddies who was not really as high on Get Out. He came in and he was like, I really liked Us. I thought that was way better than Get Out. And we were like, what? What about this stupid part? And this part, we're like pulling out all the logic issues. We're like, this. And so you see our chat, and it's just like us going back and forth with all these examples, and you see his head drop, and then it just sits there for a minute, and then you see the 3 dots, and he goes, you're right, fuck this movie.
Oh, that's
Wow.
fucking funny.
Yeah.
I wonder how he would fare if like if he leaned more on a little on comedy again. Like I don't know, because Get Out maybe worked so well because that was still like sprinkled in a little bit, and maybe because he
Mhm.
had some constraints. Whereas when he's given more free reign, he kind of does a little too much, maybe.
The Rob Zombie treatment.
So
I think it's definitely that
yeah.
second part. I think what the brilliance of Get Out is that, it's so simple and it's such a
Mhm.
simple movie. And it felt like, that's one of those movies you pull out for an example of like how greatness can come out of just a little bit, budget constraints make you be creative. And then if you can write your own checks because, your movies kill it. And then all of a sudden you're writing these grand scripts and these grand ideas and huge special effects and gigantic alien monsters. And I think he
Mhm.
works better in the smaller storytelling.
Yeah, agree. So that's what I would like to see is, I guess, just like a return to form.
Mhm.
I did miss a comment here for Cody. Leon's returning for Resident Evil 9 next year. I know he's your boy and a fan favorite, but I feel he's reaching Batman levels of Let Him Breathe. I'm glad he's returning, but I'd rather Jill or Claire, your thoughts?
No, I'll
Loop
take
on
more
this
Leon.
Yeah.
So yeah, Leon's probably the most popular character in Resident Evil. He was the main character in Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 4. He's one of the main characters in 6. And so he has been used more often than others. And there's some characters like the ones that he named that haven't been around for a while. I love Leon so much, and the fact that they're going back to Raccoon City, which is the setting of the second game, I think it only makes sense to have it be Leon. So that's my thoughts. Do we need another game with those characters to come back at some point? Yes, we do. But this one feels like it makes sense.
Yeah, okay. I was curious your thoughts on the new Resident Evil, actually, because we have, the boy Zach Krager. I see we're excited.
Yeah, I have such complicated feelings about it because like Zach Krager is probably the name that I would be most excited about doing a Resident Evil film. And when they announced that, even before I saw Weapons, I was like, oh, that's perfect. And then after I saw Weapons, I was like, oh, it's gonna be great. But I don't like the fact that he's doing his own original story. He's just kind of like using the template of Resident Evil. And the reason why, like he could be the guy to do it. I understand as somebody who's creative, you want to do your own original thing. You don't want to feel like you're boxed into the lore and the storyline and the characters of the games, and you're just kind of doing your own regurgitation of it. But I feel like the common thing that happens with pretty much every video game adaptation that we all think sucks is they do that. They take the name and they slap a skin on it and they just do their own thing, and it doesn't feel at all like what we know and love. And then you have the counter examples of like Last of Us that, at least season 1, pretty much everybody loved. And it's because it is one for one the story of the game, like directly same scene, same dialogue with a few changes. And we're now this is our third time rebooting an attempt at doing Resident Evil on the big screen. And we had Resident Evil TV series. And every single one that we've gotten, they're like, we're doing our own thing. And I'm just, as a Resident Evil fan, I want somebody to just adapt the fucking game. Like
The first game.
yes. I thought Welcome to Raccoon City was fun, and I thought they had a lot of things that they did right, but they tried to adapt the first game and the second game in one movie, and the whole movie felt like they were stealing each other's thunder, and it was cannibalizing itself. And so that's my worry with it. I think, like I said, if anybody's going to do their own thing and have it be awesome, it's going to be him, but that's the thing I'm worried about. It's just like, can we stop taking the Resident Evil name and just doing our own fucking thing with it? Call it something else.
Right.
Oh, interesting. Ken, you seemed excited. Do you share that kind of concern?
I mean, like, I think that I personally like the idea that Zach Krager is doing his own thing, but that does lead to a long list of movies that have done that and had failure, starting from, Super Mario Brothers. But I have faith in him. I think that he'll. The biggest thing I'm worried about is it's going to be a movie full of Easter eggs, and that's not what I want. We just saw that with Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Mm-hmm. It's just a bunch of Easter eggs for a bunch of fans that don't want to that know the game, that don't want, like, people like us that don't know Five Nights at Freddy's. There's gonna be people out there that don't know Resident Evil, that don't want to go watch a 4-hour explained video on it to learn the lore of it.
And we had that happen with Welcome to Raccoon City because that one was riddled with Easter eggs. And me and my buddy Rudy were like big Resident Evil guys, and we really enjoyed it while acknowledging it had flaws. And we did a stream with my buddy Sean, who has not played the games, and he was significantly lower on it. And so when we get to that point, we're like, but they did the itchy tasty thing, and they showed the videotape, and they did this, and he's like, I had no idea that was even significant. Like I had no idea that was even a thing. And I don't want that. Like, that's the difference between me and the Five Nights at Freddy's fans. I want us all to enjoy it. Like, when you see Last of Us and people are like, oh my God, that moment killed me. I'm like, it killed me in the game. Isn't it great? I want that kind of communal thing where it's like, you get it now. You're one of us. I don't want to like exclude, like, go back and
Google
play PlayStation
gobble,
1, bitch. Figure it out. Catch up with the rest of us.
Okay. One more thing before I let you go be with your wives and children again.
Are all asleep, so you can take as long as you want.
Okay. Okay. One last thing. Mike Flanagan's Exorcist. I don't really know where it's at right now. Any predictions on that, whether it be story, marketing, reception, when it's going to release? And I just don't know about it.
Didn't
so
they
I'm
just
curious your thoughts.
Was it a rumor, or did they actually officially cast Scarlett Johansson? That was
Scarlett Johansson has been cast in Mike Flanagan's The Exorcist. Martyrs is the official title.
Interesting.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I'm gonna echo kind of my attitude with the Zach Kreger thing. If anybody can make an Exorcist sequel that redeems all the other ones, except for 3, because 3's awesome and the best one,
Agreed.
it's Mike Flanagan. He's the one guy. Like, it almost felt like that was the desperate fucking ace in the hole where they were like, oh my God, Believer was so... Where's Mike? Get Mike in here, please. Like, it felt like that. So, yeah. I have faith that it's going to be at least worth seeing. But I've said for years now that The Exorcist was a movie that just never made sense to be a franchise. And as much as I love 3 is... It's kind of a sequel, but it's really its own thing. So that's kind of a bit of an anomaly. But Believer was so fucking bad. It was so bad.
Which is funny because I still don't even think it's bottom of that franchise. I think there's 3 movies in the franchise that are worse than Believer. But
I wouldn't say 3. 2's still worse. 2 is like... 2. Every time I've ever done a review series on a horror franchise, there's always at least one movie where everybody's like, oh my God, wait till you get to that one. And it's almost always oversold. It's like, yeah, it was bad, but you guys made it sound like my fucking eyes were going to be gouged out by the end of it. Exorcist 2 was that bad. That was the one where I'm like, oh, you undersold it.
I've still never
I
seen
thought
it.
4
my
and 5.
God.
Oh, don't.
Okay.
It's
Kylie,
it's genuinely the worst movie I've ever seen.
we're
Genuinely.
going to speak this into existence now. I need a double feature live reaction: Mortal Kombat Annihilation and Exorcist 2.
Done.
What the hell are you trying to do to what the hell did she do to you, man?
It's for our entertainment. And then she's never going to talk to us again.
No, I just think that I totally lost my where were we even at? I got stuck on how much I hate
Exorcist.
We
The
were
Exorcist
Mike
2.
Flanagan, Exorcist, Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah. Yeah, Scarlett Johansson, and then you were just talking about Hamnet. Is that what you were talking about, Cody?
Mm-hmm.
The breakout star from Hamnet, Jacoby Jupe, who looks like he's a very young man, also just got cast in it.
Ooh,
So
he
he's
was
been cast
really
in Mike
good.
Flanagan. Yeah, so he's been cast. It's officially titled The Exorcist Martyrs, and it has Scarlett Johansson and that young man leading the cast right now.
Scarlett's just like collecting franchises like fucking Infinity Stones at this point, man.
Yeah, I feel kind of bad saying it, but I'm not really stoked about her being in an Exorcist movie. I don't know that really makes sense to me.
See, I will always say this. There was a movie that was casted, and I was like, this is going to be stupid. This is pathetic. Why would they cast this guy in this role? I won't watch this movie because it's going to be dog shit. That was Heath Ledger in the Joker role in the Batman movie. So ever since then, I was like, I'll wait till movies come out before I judge it. Because I was so hard on it. I was like, the 10 things I love about you guy, or hate about you guy, is going to be the Joker. And then I watched it and I was like, oh man, this guy fucking killed it. Like, oh man, that was really good.
I don't know, Cody, your thoughts? Which camp are you in?
On ScarJo, I like Scarlett Johansson. It'd be cool to see her do something like, I'm assuming this is going to be rated R. Like, Matt Flanagan doesn't tend to go super rated R. Like to the point where the baseball kid sequence was kind of shocking in Doctor Sleep. But the fact that she tends to do a lot of blockbusters, Avengers, Jurassic World, and I think she's rumored to be in the new Batman movie. I kind of want to see her do something a little dirtier. Stretch her acting a little bit, and she's great dramatically, like Marriage Story, something like that. She can kill it if you give her the right stuff. So, yeah, I like ScarJo.
Yeah. Oh, I had a thought, and now I'm losing my train of thought on her. Shoot, I had one more question. It's getting a little late. I don't know if it's going to come back to me. Might have to call it a wrap here. But thank you guys so much for being here this evening.
Thank you.
And
it was fun.
Yeah,
talking 2025 horror. Hopefully, life won't get in the way so much, and we can maybe try to make this happen a little sooner. Because I think this is our first collaboration of the year. So let's maybe not wait so long for the next one.
Got in by the skin of our teeth.
totally agree.
We did. Oh, and speaking of, one last super chat here. Thank you. A lot of the original actors from the first game are working on a series of short films taking place during the first game called Resurrection of Biohazard Story. Your thoughts?
A lot of the original actors from the first game, like the original PlayStation game, like the weird, like actual actors doing. I'll have to read up on that, but it seems weird. Well, the first game had. No, but like they had actual like real people like spliced in like cutscenes, and so it's very goofy if you look at it now. Those actors, I don't know. First, I'm hearing about it. Probably not my thing. Just gonna go off of my instinct.
Yeah, I'm with you. Some of the worst voice
Jill
acting.
Sandwich.
I love.
Live action
Look
actors.
at this mansion. Like I love the first Resident Evil game. I always have, but the acting, voice acting, and cutscene acting left a lot to be desired.
Product of its
Alrighty,
time
well-
for real.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone in the chat. Thank you for your final question. And sorry, obviously we couldn't get to you all today, but hopefully you also enjoyed talking amongst yourselves. I hope that everybody has a great evening, and we can maybe not pinky promise, but we'll try to definitely collab again sooner for everybody's benefit. But hope that you guys have a great Christmas, great New Year, and we will catch you soon. Bye.
Good night.